Things for the girl, baby. Even though we being manipulated and hating each other and hating each other, I still choose to love. I got a lot of love to give. The honest saying the vibes. Drugs. So good, I'm saying. No time for this beauty and struggle. Vampires to my lady of a life's beautiful. Can't wait to move on, let go. So beautiful. That's beautiful. This life we live in, nobody promised tomorrow, man. We gotta make it by any means necessary, man. Gonna be happy to all my diamonds canary, man. And for my brother and sister, locked up in the prison. Come home, no more worries about commissary, man. We've been tripping to thinking the world is filled with hate. Same time being tricked to forgetting that we great. My brother Luigi lost his life about a year ago. My James holding it down, it's so beautiful. My brother K-Roll went to go be back with the essence. I truly miss him because he taught me so many life lessons. I sit back and I reflect on how the world could be if there was no more wars, no more poverty. But I'ma keep dropping jewels, it ain't no stopping me. Ghost band, shadow band, it ain't no blocking me. We truly truthful, stacks with the facts, speak real honest, truly beautiful thing. No time with this beauty in the struggle. Vampires to my lady of a life's beautiful. Can't wait to move on, let go. So beautiful. Life's beautiful. 2020 coronavirus in full effect. They lying about them numbers, brother, and they full of shit. We went from holding the business to unemployment checks. Everybody masked up like they robbing shit and holding vaccinations, but they ain't stopping shit. I'm saying rest in the essence, the Casey gets my junior as another young life gone. We sending prayers to a prayer. To every mother who's ever had to bury a child. When your heart gets heavy, just look up in the clouds and put a smile on your face. Tell them they made you proud. You being tricked into thinking the world is so slow. I'm about to get off parole. This world is so slow. My mother just got out of surgery. That's so slow. I'm in the league of my own. No man, not above none. Truly truthful. Stacks with the facts, featuring honest is truly beautiful. Say it. No time with this beauty in the struggle. Vampires to my lady of a life's beautiful. Can't wait to move on, let go. So beautiful. Life's beautiful.
Darkness is your ally. You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it, molded by it. I didn't see the light until I was already a man. By then, it's nothing to me but blackness. Victory has defeated you.
Gotta know your next move when you speak to a boss. Gotta respect the dance when you speak on a loss. Everybody wanna taste of this Indian sauce. When Stacks got the facts, you don't hit it up the force. Gotta know your next move when you speak to a boss. Gotta respect the dance when you speak on a loss. Everybody wanna taste of this Indian sauce. When Stacks got the facts, you don't hear nothing force.
I used to be stacks with the packs, now I'm stacks with the facts. Now I drop knowledge, used to cook straight, drop crack. E&E, coronavirus to take over. CW, elite brethren, the wait's over, right? Y'all be addicted to the limelight, mediocre bars, knowing that y'all don't rhyme right. You fake dope niggas need to get your mind right. Stupid ass niggas, y'all bringing guns to a mind fight. Now let me slow it down so I can talk to you. I'm never letting up. If that's your thought, screw you. I hypnotize the track like a nigga practice voodoo. Voice of God, crimson mist, Tusies and Hutus. The rap game is in the abyss I can easily swim through. I'm like the golden fisherman and you rappers are seafood. Grand champion, this bitch, you should call me your seafood. Make sure my energy is up cause the demo's deceitful. And everything that we see and sing ain't nothing but a dream inside of another dream. And And everything that we sing and sing ain't nothing but a dream inside of another dream.
Gotta know your next move when you speak to a boss. Gotta respect the dance when you speak on a loss. Everybody wanna taste of the skin you saw. When Stacks got the facts, you don't hear nothing false. Gotta know your next move when you speak to a boss. Gotta respect the dance when you speak on a loss.
Yeah. What up? You already know what it is, man. It's the man about town, Virgil Berry, aka Stacks with the facts. And y'all know y'all tuned in to another episode of A Real Talk Podcast. Manners, blessings, and respects to everybody coming out, tapping in with you God tonight, man. How y'all doing tonight? First thing first, smash that like button, share on your social engineering, and click on the bell, subscribe to the page. You know what I'm saying? Make sure when y'all come up in here, y'all meet and greet each other, man. How's everybody doing tonight? This evening? It's a beautiful day today. Another one. We all woke up this morning, so we already won. You know what I'm talking about? We already got the victory for the day. What's going on? What's up? What it is? What it do? What it is, man? What's up with y'all? How you doing? How your mama doing? Yeah, I can't call it, man. You know what I'm saying? It's been a beautiful day, like I said, man. But tonight, man, and I wanted to do this the next day after because, you know what I'm saying, I know when it comes to certain situations, like when it comes to the whole prison situation, you know, it's a thing that's most prevalent amongst the men, you know what I'm saying? But one thing we do 10 and 9, let's just say forget about, but don't really shine a light on is when women get locked up. When women go to prison. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? And it's only right that I had this conversation with this person. Now, you know, I thought of somebody else too. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not really in communication with them like that. So, you know what I mean? And if I'm mistaken, Cupcake, I think y'all probably was at one point in time maybe even locked up with each other. If like how I'm thinking, I'm pretty sure you get a gist of who I'm already talking about. So, you know what I'm saying? We ain't got to get into it. Cupcake know who I'm talking about if her critical thinking is on point, like how I know it is. But maybe eventually we'll make that happen. You know what I'm talking about? But anyway, though, man, you know, I think that especially for y'all ladies out there, especially the younger ladies out there, you know what I'm saying, a lot of y'all maybe headed on a certain path, you know what I'm saying, you may be leading and living a certain lifestyle to where possibly potentially you could be finding yourself incarcerated in a facility somewhere for behind what you're doing out here in these streets. You know what I'm talking about? And I think it's only right for me and for women my age, you know, so I think it's only right that we use our life experiences to, in any way we can, possibly help guide somebody else to not do the same thing. You know what I mean? And as a guy who's been to the joint, you know what I'm saying, not proud to say more than once, you feel me? I was really out there in the streets, not saying like I'm a tough guy killer, but I wasn't really doing when I was doing it. And I just know, as far as from a female's perspective, from a woman's perspective, you know what I'm saying, I just know that it'd be good for some young women out there especially, or some chicks who may be a little older my age. You might be out here doing whatever you're doing, and you know what I'm saying, you're at a point in your life where, you know what I'm saying, you want to make some transitions, and maybe, you know what I'm saying, this game is about to be dropped tonight could possibly help you in some way. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, man, y'all come in here, meet and greet each other. You know what I'm saying? Say hello, your salutations and all of that. Now, you know what I'm saying, y'all, my people's about to come back over from last night, or girl Cupcake, man. You know what I'm saying? I've been knowing her for a long time. You know what I'm saying? Like I said last night and the other day before. And you know what I'm saying? Cupcake is she's a real one. I'm gonna just tell y'all that right there. She's a real one. You feel me? You know what I mean? And who better to sit up here and possibly put y'all young girls up on some game who may be listening, who might be out here, like I said, living a certain lifestyle, whatever it is you're doing. Maybe y'all could soak up some game on how to, you know what I'm saying, avoid you know what I'm saying, going to the joint, which I'm telling you, if you're out here in these streets and you're really out here doing whatever you're doing, is a strong possibility where you will end up. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? Especially right now, I'm telling you right now, prison ain't never was a place that you want to go to, or there never was a time where it's like, okay, it's cool to go to prison. But right now, in this era, it's definitely not the time you want to be catching no cases. And they locking girls up too, left and right. What I noticed is that amongst the men, the recidivism rate has decreased, while the female recidivism rate has increased. You know what I'm saying? And that got a lot to do with a whole bunch of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Girls out here acting like they gangsters and all that type stuff. You know what I mean? So you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go ahead and drop this link for Cupcake here in a second. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, though, man. You know, anybody who watch and listen, man, you a young chick out there, man. You know what I mean? You know, and I don't pass no judgment. You know what I'm saying? As far as like telling nobody was right or wrong. We grown, we know we doing is right or was wrong whenever we doing it. But I think, especially with all this programming going on, you know what I'm saying? All this scamming stuff going on and like the, you know, like criminal activity and all that stuff is being like super promoted at a high exponential rate right now. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, I think it's good to sit up here and from our experiences speak, like I say, man, and you know what I'm saying, just talk about what we've been through and you know what I'm saying, with the efforts of, you know, passing on some information that could help, like I say, a young lady who might be out here living a certain type of way. She might hear something tonight and it, you know what I'm saying, she might make a change for the better. You know what I'm saying? Maybe she ain't never been to the county. Maybe she's never been arrested. Maybe she ain't never think that, you know what I mean, ain't even in the mind frame of whatever they out there doing could possibly end you up in the joint. You know what I'm saying? So I feel, or I'm saying, I'm gonna think it's no better person to hear from than one of you, one amongst you, who has been through the very thing that you could possibly potentially be going through. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Experience is the best teacher. So who better to put the young sister up on game about, you know what I'm saying, things not to do and not, you know, so you avoid, because I'm pretty sure, like us all who done been locked up or whatever situation, I'm pretty sure, you know what I'm saying, we done sit up there and thought like, you know what I mean, we done sit up there and thought like, man, I should have did this. You know what I mean? And I just think now we can just kind of like, you know, we can kind of like use our experiences as we look on retrospect back what we did. And I could, like I said, I could somehow help somebody. You know what I mean? So that's one of the main reasons why I do what I do. You know what I'm saying? And it's the reason why we're sitting here having this conversation tonight. You know what I mean? Now, you know, I mean, I'm going to be all the way honest with y'all. I haven't looked at the criminal statistics amongst women specifically, and especially Black women. I haven't looked at those. You know what I'm saying? Because this wasn't really a show about stats. This is more about just Cupcake dropping game on y'all about, you know, certain situations. You know what I'm saying? She been through and her experiences and stuff like that. But you know what I mean? Maybe we can do that another time if we get into something more specific. You know what I'm saying? Because to my knowledge, Cupcake ain't been in no trouble since she been home. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I mean, man? I think that, like I say, especially with this programming going on, you know, a young chicks is being influenced to participate, you know what I'm saying, engage in very what you could say is criminals. I ain't even gonna say you could say it in criminal activity. You know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of young ladies, we see it all through social media. You know what I'm saying? We see it. You see these little girls getting locked up, going to jail for acting crazy in store, getting into it in public, fights and all that crazy stuff. You know what I'm saying? Acting crazy at McDonald's or some restaurant because their sauce was good and they ain't want to give y'all none, and going through the drive-through window at McDonald's and all that crazy stuff. A girl in New York pulled up on a girl and just blew her kufi off and killed her a couple years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? When it come to going to that box, man, I'm sitting here trying to tell y'all, man, that ain't no place for nobody to be. You hear me? But I'm telling you right now, you're out here in the streets wilding out, whether you a man or a woman, they got a place for you. And I'm going to tell you like this, they always got a spot open for you. You know? Real talk, man, you know what I'm saying? And being in that environment, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, it definitely have an effect on you though, but you know what I'm saying? You also see how, you know what I'm saying, when you inside in prison, you see how time go by a little in a different way. You know what I'm saying? Then you just see stuff happening from inside on the outside. But as you pay attention to the outside, you see what's going on the inside is being done on the micro level inside. And then you get out, it's being done on the macro level outside. I'm pretty sure Cupcake can attest to that, or anybody else, you know what I'm saying, who happen to find themselves incarcerated, man, unfortunately, due to your activity out here in the streets, man. You know what I mean? And like I said, I'm starting to see like it's a lot of young ladies, man, who catching cases, man, doing crazy stuff, man. It's like, you know, it's becoming like an epidemic. Like a goddamn epidemic, man. So, you know what I'm saying? Y'all probably got a loved one who probably locked up, auntie or something like that. One of y'all friends, whoever, got caught up in some stuff with her dude or whatever the situation is. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Number one Fly God, what's good, brother? How you doing, man? Like I said, man, y'all meet and greet each other as y'all come up in here, man. You know, man, we just doing this thing here, just about to sit here and chop us a game about, you know what I'm saying, finding yourself in an unfortunate situation where you're incarcerated, but from the female perspective. You feel me? I don't think these chick stories be getting told enough for real, man. Because you know what I'm saying. I happen to shout out to my homie James, man, my homie from Hard Knock Youth Sports right here in Columbus, Ohio, man. If y'all need any filming for y'all kids, youth league, summer league, whether it be football, basketball, soccer, whatever, y'all make sure y'all go hit my man James up on Facebook, man. Hard Knock Sports, man, spelled just like I was saying, Hard Knock Sports. Tell me stats with the facts sent you. Bless you, get you a nice little package together for your child. Put together a little video reel for them. Make it real tight. Put the edit on there, effects and all that. Have them, you know what I'm saying. So when them recruits be coming to them games, how your kid out there looking like they're professional and ready to hit the big leagues. You know what I mean? Make sure y'all holler at my brother James, man, from Hard Knock Sports. Go check him out on Facebook. Hit him up. When he on YouTube, to go subscribe to his page, Hard Knock Sports. You know what I'm saying? We're about to have some stuff coming up too. But yeah, though, man, we'll get back to what we talking about here, man. I know it may be some chicks listening who probably done been fine. You might have been to the joint before wherever you from. So, you know, whatever experience that you went through that could possibly add on to the conversation, y'all more than welcome to drop your knowledge, your jewels, man. You know what I'm saying? We out here trying to, you know what I'm saying, possibly prevent some young sister, man, from continue to make some mistakes or even get into making mistakes that could possibly end them up in the situation where they're incarcerated. You know what I'm talking about? Because it's a real thing. The strain it has on your family, your relationships with your friends, your kids, if you got. So imagine being a mother having to go do a bid, and then this chicks will be coming in there pregnant, how to have the kids while they in the joint. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure Cupcake won't be able to speak on all that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? We about to bring her up here in a second. In another 10 minutes, we're gonna bring her up. You know what I'm saying? How's everybody doing? What's going on? What's going on? You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, it's a serious situation, man. You know what I mean? Cause I'm telling you, I know from being in there from on the men's side. You know what I'm saying? It's rough. You know what I'm saying? So I could just even imagine that it's just as, if not even a little bit more, I would say rough when it comes to from the female side, from the women's side. You know what I mean? Y'all think y'all got y'all in there. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of estrogen in there. You know what I'm saying? And but I will say this though, from what I have studied, women are tend to be a little bit more violent than men. I'm pretty sure it's a lot more fights and stuff going on in female prisons. And not only that, you know what I'm saying, I'm pretty, from what else I heard too, you know what I'm saying, there'd be some freaky stuff going on off in that joint, you know. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna talk about it all, man. Gotta talk about it. And I also think it's good to talk about for us who have actually been in court. I think it's good for us to talk about it because not only to use it as a deterrent, you know what I'm saying, prevent younger people from making mistakes we made, but also to shed light on the inhumane, you hear me, unhospitable facilities you be in and stuff, man. And, you know what I mean? How a lot of people who be innocent in there, there's a lot of people in there who really need to be in some type of mental health hospital versus being in prison. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure it plays out the same for women as well. You know what I mean? Because, we're going to get into it, man. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, I'm going to just go ahead and drop the link and bring Cupcake in on right now. There go the link. If you need to see how we on this, the link is in the chat. You know what I'm saying? We about to bring Cupcake on up. We ain't going to waste no time holding nobody up, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, make sure y'all smash that like button. Click on that subscribe bell, man. You know, the alert bell. Subscribe to the page. You know what I'm talking about? We're going to talk about some real talk. We're about to have real talk. You know what I'm saying? Because it's real, man. It's fake, but it's real. If that makes sense to anybody. You know what I'm saying? Young girl out there might be out there, you know what I'm saying, do whatever you're doing, whether you hustling, you know what I'm saying, you doing the scam game, whatever it is. Oh man, and man, that's gonna be another topic for another day. I'm gonna just keep that to myself. I ain't gonna speak on it. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna be something else we're gonna save for later. Yeah. But if you're watching, okay, the link is right there. So so you can tap on in. So we can go ahead and get started, get things popping. Yeah, though, man. Being in the joint is not a place you want to be, man. You know what I'm saying? Definitely not a place you want to be. That's why I be telling young homies, man, out here, man. I be seeing people still see me when I be on the about, be asking me if I'm still popping. Like, nah, man, I'm out, man. Like, done. You hear me? And I just be, you know what I'm saying? I still be, like I said, I talk to a couple young brothers, you know what I'm saying? My little homies, man, younger guys, they hit me up, you know what I'm saying? Just, for some counsel, you know what I mean? Basically, you know how it is when you're out here, man, you don't be having nobody to talk to. I remember when I was out there, I really ain't had nobody to talk to for real, outside of my circle of friends. You know what I'm saying? I ain't really had no older homies I could really talk to, man, for real. Juju, what's good, girl? How you doing tonight? You know what I'm saying? Soon as Cupcake see the link, she can go ahead and tap and come on in, so she can go ahead and drop these jewels on y'all, man. Because I know it's a lot of young girls out there, man. You hear me? Yeah, go ahead, talk to them, Juju. Tell them, girl. Tell them. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the page. Share on your social media. All that. Because, like I said, the major thing I see is through the programming, through the social media and everything, and you know, the music. Y'all see the situation with the little twin chicks not too long ago. They got their stepdad got him bodied, didn't even go to jail for it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You got chicks out here wilding, man. Getting, like I say, getting into fights at restaurants, man, and in public, man. Riding at the damn weave shop, the beauty supply store, and acting crazy, man. Doing all types of crazy stuff. You know what I mean? I'm talking about all types of crazy stuff. Y'all see it? Yeah. I ain't the only one to see this stuff that's going on, man. And yeah, they got they got a spot for you. You want to be out here acting crazy? They definitely got a bunk for you somewhere, man. You know what I mean? But and I ain't saying that to be like condescending or nothing, because you gotta remember I used to be out in the streets too. But I'm just saying, you know, the way things are now, like I said, the times we living in, the era we living in. You know what I'm saying? When we become older and wiser, you know what I'm saying? When you know better, you do better, man. You know what I mean? We can't keep complaining as we becoming the next generation of the older, you know, the later in the early end of the Generation X, or should I say Gen Z or whatever generation it is, millennial. You know what I'm saying? It's up to us to talk about our experiences, you know what I'm saying, and use that as a way to, you know what I'm saying, prevent the younger generation from doing what we doing. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'll be seeing a lot of people saying the young people acting crazy and this and this and that and this and that. The young girls, the young guy, but ain't nobody really trying to like do nothing to like help them or put them up on game about nothing though. You know what I'm saying? And and I want to say this too. And this even apply for us dudes too. One of the main reasons why these young niggas out here wilding, because they don't have a lot of respect for older niggas. I don't mean, you know what I'm saying? My young homie, they got respect for me. You know, where I'm at might be the same for you, but I'm talking as a whole. Young niggas ain't got no respect for older niggas. Older niggas ain't, you got older niggas out here trying to act like they the young boys. You got guys my age out here actually still want to be outside and be saying gang gang. Smang smang. Or should I say saying smang smang? You know what I'm saying? Out here with their pants sagging and, you know what I'm saying, got the dreads in their hair with the tattoos all over their face and all that crazy stuff, man. Then you even got the girls doing it now too. You know what I'm saying? Crazy, man. And remember when I talked to y'all about violent radicalization? All right? Think about that. It ain't just for the guys, it's for y'all girls too. All right, we got Cupcake in the building.
Hey, what's going on? Peace and blessings. Hey, Verge.
Hey, what's up with you, sis? How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm blessed. I'm excited. I'm just really good. No
I see
complaints.
I see you got the all black on.
You know, representing Black Power.
I see you got the all black on, man. But yeah, like I was saying, man, you know, I think it's our duty. You hear me? Cupcake? I think it's our duty. I think it's our responsibility. I think it's our obligation as being through experiences me and you both been through. And I think it's only right that we talk about it and share it, you know what I'm saying, in the hopes, like I said, of possibly any like young guys for me, young ladies for you who may be out here in the streets living a certain lifestyle, or you know what I'm saying, to hear about, people who've been actually through it, you know what I'm saying, maybe put you in a different mind frame of perspective before you continue whatever you're doing or get into what you're thinking about doing, or if you've been doing it, you know what I'm saying, if you got the point where you like, but you ain't got to see this part of it though, you know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
I'm sitting here trying to tell y'all, man, Oh, it's all good, Juju, man. Handle your business, girl. You know what I'm saying? But I just think that when it comes to this topic right here, man, you know what I'm saying? It's something, especially amongst black women, it's something that don't get a lot of light shine on it. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? I mean, you see little TV shows. What was it? The Orange is the New Black and all that stuff. And you, a couple of shows they probably got on like A&E or something like that. But as far as like, you know, what leads up to it, you know what I'm saying, and happen as afterwards, I don't see too much of that. I just see a lot of programs where they're focusing on why girls in jail, which some of that stuff is scripted, and I just don't believe a lot of it, man. You hear me? When I was locked up, man, Cupcake, and I used to watch some of them shows where they do the 60 days in and all that stuff. I'm looking like, man, I don't believe that, man. That's just, I just don't believe it, man. You feel me?
Yeah.
It just seemed like it was just too. It just was too. It was too scat for me, man. But I'm gonna go ahead and fall back, and I'm gonna let Cupcake go ahead and just give them a brief little synopsis of who you are, where you from. You know what I'm saying? What led up into what I'm saying, what you was doing out here that led you up to being locked up in that old Ville, which mind y'all is the oldest prison in Ohio.
Yes, it is.
The Ohio Reformatory for Women is the oldest and second largest prison in Ohio.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So I'm gonna go ahead and
Um,
let Cupcake talk to y'all, man.
okay, well, first and foremost, peace and blessings. Shalom, everyone. I hope everyone is good. Um, it's really not too much to say concerning me as far as describe myself. My name's Arinda. Anybody that knows me, been around me, I'm Cupcake. I've always been a very active drug dealer. Let me say that. Let's just be honest.
Just go ahead and say what it is, sis, man.
Yeah, very active in the game. At a young age, I started off. And a lot of people have the concept that people that have been incarcerated, they didn't have a good family background or strong family background. I'm here to let you know that's a lie because I did.
Right. A lot of
Okay.
people did too.
One of the main things that I realize now is I had too much idle time. And I'm too much of a thinker and just trying to get out there and do things. I'm very busy. And although my mother, great woman, was there, showed me how to be a lady, showed me how to work strong as a woman, she had those hours that was second shift, like those 3 to 11 hours.
Right.
That she had to work. So when I came home, dinner was prepared, but no one was here but me. Guess what I did? I ventured out into the neighborhood because I love my hood. I love my hood.
You know what I'm talking about?
And Virgil, like I know,
Yeah.
AG Somerset, they have raised and born some of the most thoroughest people. Like, we were really in the game for real. So a lot of my influence, the majority actually of my influence came from the neighborhood. And it was just gangsters, majority, not all, gangsters, drug dealers, pimps. We had pimps. You remember Fish and Wings.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Honey, listen. So I was exposed to things that I actually liked. Now, even though they were negative, I gravitated towards it. I gravitated towards hustling. I didn't have anything in my life going on, or really women aside from my mom, which wasn't here a lot because she had to provide for us, to show me any other way than to hustle.
Right.
I jumped head first into it. It was easy for me. I was really great at it. And that is what basically boiled down to me ending up catching my case.
Right.
In June of 2000, I was arrested for felonious assaults, 2 counts of felonious assault, actually. And When I think about the story, it's a trip because I actually wasn't supposed to even be in the States. I was supposed to be in Jamaica getting some things to gather some product to bring back to the States. And at the last minute, I had decided I wasn't going to go. I was consciously exhausted with the life.
Right.
I really was. I had made the decision the day before I caught my case. I'm about to give me a job. I'm gonna stop smoking weed long enough to pass this drug test. They had just built the what is it, the post office over in City Gate. So I'm like, yeah, I'm about to do that. I'm old enough to do that now. And that was literally the day before my case. Well, I caught my case. I was arrested.
Right.
Literally. I was like self-examining myself. Like, I know I can be doing more than this. I have talents. I have many gifts. There's other things I can be doing. So I really was attempting to make a change before that happened. Let me tell you what, June of 2000, it was something in the air that day. I felt it. I didn't want to move. I didn't want to go anywhere. I just laid around in the bed, just chilling. I just didn't want to do anything. And the way my room was set up, I can see everybody driving down our street. So, I could just open up the blinds and just look and be like, oh, okay, I see such and such. Something said, Cupcake, get up. And I looked out the window and I saw that it was 3 cars just parked in front of my mama's house. Like, what is this about? All right. So me being who I am, I'm like, let me go out there because I recognized one of the cars. Now, mind you, the case that I got, it involved individuals that I loved, that I thought loved me. They didn't, that I was really there for.
Right.
So I step outside. When I step outside, we start conversing and I'm noticing from the conversation, oh, I see what y'all think y'all about to do here. They thought they was going to come up. They thought that they was really going to take me out, And I'm like, okay, let me switch this energy because I'm smarter than y'all. So let me do this. I got them comfortable. I said, now mind you, it's 3 cars deep, okay? For me.
Right.
Go figure. I'm only 4'11" with 110 soaking wet. Make sense. So I'm like, okay. I knew that something was going to pop off. And the first thought that came into my mind was, let me get these people away from my mother's house because I know what I'm about to do. I know their intentions. I know what's going on. All right. So I said something. I'm not quite sure what I said, but it got them comfortable. And I'm like, you know what? Let's go to Sunbury Square because that's where one of the young ladies lived, where I would be at and stuff. I'm like, let's go to Sunbury Square. We can discuss some things and figure some things out.
Right.
Okay, upon arriving over there, we're talking. Now I'm switching the energy up. Let me back up a little bit because when I got in one of the vehicles, I was literally like in the middle in the front seat. Like it was the driver. I'm in the middle in the front seat and it's a passenger. And whoever that was behind me, I'm not quite sure. It might have just been an extra that shouldn't have been there. But I kept hearing them say, yeah, it's about to go down. It's about to go down. So now I'm matching the same energy because the laws of the street that we lived by back then. The rules. So I'm like, okay, yeah, it is about to go down. This is just letting me know, verifying everything that I'm already thinking. Like, y'all really thought that y'all was going to do something and take something from me and just all types of craziness. Okay, we're about to see how this turned out. So we get to Sunbury Square. And I'm talking to these people and I'm letting them know. And once they see like, okay, she ain't about to come up off of anything. She's not about to do this and that. They decided they wanted to jump me. Now, mind you, I just told you I'm only 4'11" and 100 and something pounds. So that just let me know how powerful I must have been in their eyes. Okay. I could have even dealt with that. That would have been okay. But now you want to involve weapons. You want to do certain things. So guess what I do? We stay strapped. All of us stayed strapped. Anybody that was in the game back in the hood stayed strapped. And once they started beating on me and doing certain things to me, I actually was hit by like a 2x4. And when it hit my head, I blacked out, but I was still awake because I'm still fighting. That's what we do. We fight. But I couldn't see anything. Long story short, when all that was all said and done, they end up getting shot up. I was arrested for felonious assault. Now, let me even say this, Virgil. I honestly didn't think I was going to go to prison. I thought that we were going to handle it how street people handled it back then and keep it in the streets, especially if y'all came to me. How would y'all call the police on me and y'all came for me?
Right.
So after I do what I do, I get back. Oh, and mind you, K-Ro was out there that day. Let me tell you that.
Oh,
and he looked at me and he said, I understand everything you just did and why you did it. So I get back to my mother's home and I'm rolling up a blunt because now I'm up. I'm like, okay, I already know. I know where they mama stay. They know where my mother stay. If they come back around, I got to be prepared. I got to be ready for whatever happens. They didn't come. The police came.
Damn.
Yeah, isn't that something? Y'all came for me. So I literally, like I said, I didn't think I was going to go to prison. I literally thought that we were going to handle it the way that we handled it streetwise back in the day. I sincerely thought that. So when the police came and knocked on the door, I'm nonchalant. I'm like, hey, how y'all doing? What's going on? And they're like, well, you're under arrest. I said, well, for what? What? And they're like, yeah, we got a phone call. You just shot up some people. You shot up their crib. You did some things. I'm like, I don't know what y'all talking about. Because, see, you got to prove me guilty. I ain't for telling myself. That's just not going to happen. So they like, well, you got to come with me. Boom, 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 boom. Get down there. Now I'm sitting in the workhouse. I'm a little cocky with it because I honestly believed in my heart I was going to get up out of this. I truly did. I didn't think that I would have to be. What'd you say?
Thought you was innocent?
Oh, because I am innocent. I'm always innocent. So I thought, okay, I'm down there. They got me in the interrogation room, child, for hours. I'm talking about hours because I think I caught my case. It was daylight, so it had to be like around 3 p.m. See, I didn't do this at night. This was in daylight. Broad daylight. So I'm down there and they talking to me. I'm like, I don't know what y'all talking about. I still don't know. It's whatever. Now, this is when I knew my mom was thorough because they involved my mother. Okay. And when they involved her, they had her in the other interrogation room. And I could hear my mother saying, I don't know what you're talking about. My baby would never. She knew, you know what I'm saying? She did. She was like, my baby would never. She would never do this. She would never do that. But they involved her because she actually came and picked me up from Sunbury Square after I did what I did.
Right.
So now they're trying to make my mother a co-defendant. So I'm really cocky now in the interrogation room. I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm good. I'm laying down. I'm going to sleep. I'm like, I'm hungry. What are we going to do? This was my behavior towards the situation. And when they decided that they was going to charge, now they were smart on this. They tried to charge my mom. They said, okay, we're going to charge you for this. We're going to charge her for this. And this is just what it is. I couldn't go. And that's when I was like, you know what? I did what I did.
Right.
This is why I did what I did. Let's go. Mommy, you got to get up out of here. We're not about to have you sitting here. I need you on the outside taking care of me. How we both going to be locked up. We can't do that. And she really wasn't involved. That other than coming to get me like she was supposed to do, that's what she was supposed to do. After I did what I did, you were supposed to come get your daughter. So, yeah, I sat in the workhouse for probably 6 months. Well, actually, it was 6 months. And I was sentenced in December because, like I said, I caught the case June 2000. Well, arrested June 2000. And I caught they sentenced me in December. I actually rode out to Marysville the day after Christmas.
Damn.
I was sentenced to 8 years. 2 counts of felonious assault. They gave me 4 for each. It was ran concurrent. Mm-hmm. So I was blessed that I only had to do 4 years.
Right.
So that's just a little bit of my story. That's just a little bit, do you want to ask me anything? Because I'll indulge more. But that's pretty much how go ahead.
Yeah. I just, I pretty much kind of know, what I'm saying? I didn't know K-Ro was there though. I didn't know that.
Yes, he was. It makes me smile when I think about it because me and your brother really had a great relationship and no one even knows about it. It wasn't an intimate relationship. It was
Right,
just so cool. Do you hear me?
right,
And he would talk to me and tell me things like, for you to be your age, there's no way you should be thinking and moving the way you do. You know, we used to have some deep talks,
right,
brother. I'm telling you. But he was there. Absolutely. You know what his baby mamas lived out there, Chad.
right. Now, who we talking about, K-Ro, this is my brother. You know what I'm saying? My brother who got killed a couple years ago. You know what I'm talking about? And we all from the same area. You know what I'm saying? You know, my brother was a very, let's just say he was a very,
He was a legend. Do
he,
you hear me?
he's definitely a legend. He's definitely
Woo!
a legend for sure. You know, and just say my brother was a very interesting character. You know what I'm saying? And as you see, I could bring a numerous people up on here who I know talk about whatever, and somehow, some way, my brother done touched their life in some type of way.
Absolutely.
You know
Beautiful
what I'm saying?
spirit. Beautiful, real,
Yeah, but
beautiful spirit.
rest of the essence the K-Bro, man. You don't talk about. Not real shit. That's my big bro. I miss that nigga though, for real. But now, as far as when you got there, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
You know, I want you to share some information, share some game, put these girls on game about what it's like being in there, the environment, the effects it has on you, the relationships with your family, man, if you got one, all of that, the girls having, you know what I'm saying, all of that, the girls being pregnant in there, just the whole environment. Just go ahead, you know what I mean? You already know Project Leroy in the building, my nigga. Project Leroy was good. You know what I'm saying? Just go ahead and just, you know what I'm saying, give them a quick synopsis, you know what I'm saying, basically what life is like in there, and you know what I'm saying, basically, like I said, the effects it have on you and your relationships on the outside and all that.
Well, let me start by saying this. I caught my case when I was 19. That's very young, okay?
Right.
Extremely young. So,
Very young.
too young. So, I already had a certain idealism going in how it was going to be or how I was going to, stand in certain things. And like I told you, I did 6 months. Now, within that 6 months, there was beef. I had beef. I had a whole lot of love. And I'm talking about 6 months in the workhouse before I got shipped to Marysville.
Right. Torture.
Yeah. It was beefs, honey. It was all types of things, but I had a lot of love and a lot of respect. Like I said, people gravitate towards me.
Right.
So, the energy was good. Now, mind you, I told you, I got shipped to Marysville right after Christmas.
Right.
When I get off the bus, they tell me I'm going to RM4. Now, mind you, I don't know RM4 is the hub, okay? Only thing I think it is, look, I ain't had no tobacco. Y'all got a cigarette, something, give me something. I had nothing for a whole 6 months. So when I go to the hole, not knowing it's the hole, this is literally right off the bus. I'm sitting there and they're like, my roommate's asking me certain questions. She's like, and for y'all guys that don't know what the hole is a place where they put people that they feel is some type of problem. So my roommate is asking me, well, what are you being charged for? I'm like, I don't know. I don't have a ticket. You're talking about tickets? I don't know even what you're talking about. So I sat in there. I had to do the New Year's in there. New Year's had passed. So that just give you the amount of time. Well, idea of the amount of time I set with having no ticket, no explanations to why I'm there or anything like that. Well, after January 2nd came and she noticed that I didn't go to the board. You know what the board is. I had went to the board. She decided she just started knocking on the door. She was like, okay, oh, you're going to be good. Just from our conversation. She was like, you got this. So she knocked on the door and she was like, deputy, let me know. CO, we need to know what was going on with her. Long story short, I was in a hole because of a letter that I had wrote another inmate letting them know what I was going to do at the opportunity when I had the chance to see them. And that gave that letter to, the people in Marysville. See, I didn't understand snitching. I never understood that. So to me, even when I did that and that happened, I just figured me and her, like once again, I didn't think that I was going to go to prison. I figured me and her was just going to do what we have to do up through there. And that would be it. No. So they let me know that's the case. So I do my game. I'm talking. I'm like, it's not like that. I'm not worried about that. They had her in protective custody in admissions. And in admissions, it's set up as like bunks, 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 which is a whole bunch of different women. So they had this particular lady set up by this post. And I'm like, none of that is necessary, even though it was, because had that not happened, I know what would have happened. So I get there, and when I get out the hole, I remember this one CEO telling me, he was like, "You're a cupcake." I said, "Yeah, hey, how you doing?" Because now, mind you, I have manners. So now I'm putting on the charm. You feel me? "Hey, how you doing?" He said, "I thought that you was going to be like 6 foot tall and 300-400 pounds the way they acted." I said, "Look, you ain't got to worry about me." So I was learning early, like, oh, people been snitching. People been acting like they're tough or they're about a certain life, and that ain't the case. So I get in there, and one of the things that really touched me, I had an ideal of what a person was that used drugs, an addict that was dealing with addictions. I learned very quickly that I was totally off. Some of the most intelligent people, I got some game from addicts. You hear what I'm saying?
Oh, you already
And
know.
they're talking to me. And then me being as curious as I am, I'm like, what happened? How did you start smoking? How did you start shooting up dope? Because you're so intelligent. And they would break certain things down to me that just made reality a little different for me.
Right.
I'm going to tell you this too. I didn't have many problems with inmates. I didn't have that issue where they thought that they won't get over it. It was respect. And I appreciate that looking back. Hindsight 2020. I had a lot of issues with the guards and COs.
Right.
They felt like that me being in new college, because that's what they do. They put you separate when you're not 21. They try to separate you from the population.
Right.
And they would say things to me like, how do you have this much love or this much power? I ain't gonna say power control because I was just doing me, living me. And they hated that, Virgil. I'm talking about when I say I was literally 6 months, I did LCs, ACs, all types of stuff behind just the guards. Because if they would do something to me, now mind you, I'm the type of person, I will write people and I would say certain things like, look, don't even trip, you know what I'm saying? Use your intelligence, pencil whip these guards, don't do this and that. At the same token, though, I ain't even living by that. I'm kind of low key flipping, like y'all got me really messed up with some of the things they was doing. So if I got put in a hole, they would shut down a whole yard. The whole yard, New Cottage, Marysville, like they would shut it down because people would act up so much. And I realized they was trying to break me, but you can't break nobody that is naturally a loner. So me going to the hole was a break for me. Give me my books. I like to read, give me a pen and paper. I like to write songs. I like to rap, different things like that. So that was an aspect of prison that I picked up on, like, okay, well, Cupcake, you really do have a power. So what are you going to do with this energy?
Right.
I seen a lot of mothers and a lot of pregnant women. Now that would break my heart a little bit.
Right.
Like, oh my gosh, your baby is literally going to be born in prison. And a lot of these young women and a lot of these young girls thinking, okay, it's all good to be out on the streets. Like, Virgil, I never carried myself like a loud, obnoxious type of woman.
Right.
I was never that. What'd you say?
I said, I gotta say that.
Yeah, I was never that type. But guess what? I also used that to my advantage because I realized when people met me or they saw me, they're like, oh, she's such a sweet, she's so mannerable. And they didn't understand the rage and the real gangster that was inside of me. So I was able to get over on scams and make moves that most men couldn't make because of that fact. And I want young ladies to know, like, it's very important for you to have a surrounding of women that are role models. Not what I seen. I just seen, and I take nothing away from them because they built me too. But I seen a lot of gangsters and hustlers. I didn't see a lot of teachers' wives, women going to colleges and things like that. See, I didn't see a lot of that. I saw the hood, and you know the hood was the truth. One of the realest hood in Columbus, Ohio, was the truth.
That's a fact. Yeah. Now since you spoke on it, now I gotta ask because of unfortunately, and I'm saying well, I ain't gonna say unfortunately though, but I found myself in SEG a couple of times too. Now, mind you, every single time I went to SEG, it was nothing behind what I did though. Every single time. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? And this goes the other day what I said when some people would come home from prison and they, it had, of course, it has an effect on you regardless, but it's about if it's had a negative effect on you or a positive effect on you. Some of us, it has a positive effect. And when I'm saying this, being in that goddamn hole, man. Are you from Massillon, Miss Descendant of Al Gore? That's what's up. Now, being in that goddamn hole, man, you hear me? And this is why I rock with Cupcake, because that's how I know she a real one. Because to be in the hole for any amount of time, right?
Mental strength.
Long as I was in there for 30. I was in there for 45 days. Cupcake, you hear me? On some straight bull. You hear me? I'm talking about straight bull. You hear me? Like I said, every time I went to the hole, it was not nothing I did. You hear me? But one thing I can say is that for you to go through that, to go to the being in the joint is one thing, but going to the hole,
it's like jail and jail.
Yeah, but it's worse though because you know what I'm saying. The situation when you in there, you know what I'm saying. It's like being in a county in the joint. You know what I'm saying. That sucks. And anybody who unfortunately had to go to prison, then you know what I'm talking about. And I'm telling you, you got to have a strong mind for that to not break you. I done seen dudes, man, listen, I've been in the hole and I was a porter in the hole. And I'm sitting up here telling y'all, man, this is why I say this is important to have the conversation because there's not no place for no young person to be. You see, Coco said she was 19. That's young. That's a baby. That's a kid for real, man. You hear me? I've seen young boys come in there at 19. Man, listen. You hear me? So just to, you know what I mean, hear her talk about being in SEG and off top coming straight from the bus, straight from the county to
from the bus. Like,
damn. You know what I'm saying? But that goes back to just being that wild young behavior because in hindsight, not as you I know I was silly as son as fuck for doing that dumbass shit. Excuse my language, but sending that letter, like you know, that's crazy.
Stupid.
Trying to riot or something like that, but it could have.
Baby, listen, I'm thinking people living by the rules I live by.
What you say?
I said I'm thinking at that moment when I sent that kite, because you know that's what we call them kites.
Yeah.
I'm thinking people living by the same rules I'm living by. This snitch life, it really unnerves me. I didn't expect that. So yeah, go ahead.
I was just saying, man, and listen, and this that we speaking on what she's speaking on right now. This is, and if y'all paid attention, this is the second time dealing with this whole situation where some rat bastard snitch activity been involved. This is what I go to say. We'll be talking about on my brother Red page, man. My brother Red show. Shout out to my brother Red Supreme TV1, man. The spirit of snitching is rampant. You feel me? And
all time high.
I'm talking about like, God damn it, man. You hear me? So yeah, so as far as being in there though, you know what I'm saying? I know, you know what I'm saying, being in the joint is different for on the female side, on the woman's side, because you know what I'm saying? Like I said, with the estrogen off in there, you know what I'm saying? I know y'all tend to be a little bit more violent, a lot of freaky stuff going on. So
they're aggressive too.
Yeah, I know. I want you to put these girls on some gang who might be in a situation where they could find themselves in a joint. Like, listen here, man, I just want to give y'all some love about how we ain't glorifying it. We just here telling y'all, like, when you go through this, you know what I'm saying? This is what you can, you know, what you looking forward to if you continue to carry on in the streets, however you carry it on. So just speak on, you know what I'm saying? Just speak on, like, you know what I'm saying, like on a day-to-day basis, life in there, the rigmarole with what's going on, politics and all of that stuff, man. Put them up on game about that, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, and how you was able to, because how I know, Cupcake, I know she pretty much did her bit like how I did mine, just finessed and silked that joint and had my way off of there,
Period.
motherfucker. You hear me? Besides them 3 times I went to the hoe, I had my way up in there, and I'm not even bragging or boasting about that. This is another something we could talk about later about how broken that system is because to a certain extent they allowing us a lot of that stuff to go on that we
And they're helping.
and I said when I say allowing, I mean full a lot involved, allowing everything. But just go ahead and tell them a little bit about the daily life off in there, the politics and all that crazy stuff real quick.
Well, one of the things is that occurred with me when fresh out the hole or getting in that environment. Man, a lot of times women are a lot more aggressive when they want you. Do you hear me?
Right.
I would come literally to my bunk. So if you're not into dating women, you're not gay, be prepared for that. Okay. Let me tell you that first and foremost. I would literally come to my bunk and have clothes or jewelry or food. Like, I'm not getting up early in the morning because, they want you up at 6 a.m. or whatever for breakfast. I ain't doing that. People will literally bring me breakfast, okay? And I'm checking this out like, oh, y'all wildin'. Like, really wilding up in there. It was baby, listen, it was the first time that I actually seen a woman with a beard.
Wow.
I'm talking about thicker than yours, brother.
Wow.
It be crazy. You're on a schedule. And if you don't keep to that schedule, that's an excuse for them to either treat you badly or put you in a hole. If they tell you, and if you're anything like me, I don't really like anyone telling me what to do that I don't know. I don't like that. I know how to move. I know how to navigate. You're going to see deaths. My roommate, one of my roommates, because they ended up placing me in what they call RN4. And RN4 was a place where so-called bad people had to go, because they just, whatever the case. And my roommate hung herself.
Damn.
So you're going to see, it was deep. It was real deep. And the thing is, she was scheduled to be released after doing a 24-year bid, okay?
Damn.
She couldn't handle that. She couldn't have the concept of living outside of the prison, so she hung herself. She did that. Now, mind you, when I was in New Cottage, they would tell me stories, about young ladies that got in there and wasn't mentally and spiritually strong enough to handle themselves, and they would kill themselves. So you have to understand this type of environment is a very manipulative environment. Right. Then you have to deal with guards, okay? Because I'm not a bad looking woman. I might not be the best looking woman, but I'm not a bad looking woman. So I'm dealing with guards coming at me. Then them being upset because I'm like, man, I ain't rocking like that. It was them, man or woman, because it was both.
Wow.
Like, man, I'm not even getting down like that. Right. Now, this is not what we're about to do. But I will say this, because you always had guards that was, they was from the hood. So I was able to bring in a lot of different things just to make my stay more comfortable. You know what I mean? I'm talking about drugs. So when you say that they really are active in a lot of messed up things, right. Absolutely they are.
That's a fact.
Absolutely. You can be just minding your business. And if somebody think you weak, you better not be weak. You can't, I don't care what your size is. You better not be weak because you're going to get your stuff taken. People going to take from you. Right. Believe that. They're going to test you. And if you don't stand for something, and a lot of these young girls don't understand, y'all think y'all are bad.
Talk to
y'all
them.
Haven't seen bad. It's some savages up in Marysville. It's some savages in these women prisons. And if you're not equipped for that, you're going to either kill yourself or you just going to be what we would call a sucker. Because for real, that's what it was, a sucker. You're going to be washing my drawers. You're going to be doing certain things. This is real. So it's like, man, the only thing I can say is if you have the opportunity to do something different other than what you've been exposed to, go to school, go to college.
That's awesome.
Groom yourself for a future where you won't have to go through the things that I went through when I came home, because it wasn't easy.
Right.
Me being who I am, I automatically assume like, okay, I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna do my thing. I got my plans.
Right.
Full-fledged. That's not reality.
At all.
That's not reality. I was released July 4th, 2004. Ain't that awesome?
Yeah.
Little punk ass holiday, excuse my
Yeah.
language. But you know what I mean? That's kind of dope.
Yeah, that is though. That's ill. I didn't know that. That's ill.
Yeah, that was it. I got good days because, once I calmed down and got my anger in order, I got my GED, and then the job that I would do would tutor other people to get their GED. So it gave me good days,
Wow.
So I thought that was pretty dope. When I came home, I had a 2013, and mind you, came over July 4th, 2004. I had a 2013 nice little Cavalier. I wrecked that. It still had 30-day tags, because when I came home, me thinking that it was going to be so easy for me to transition back in to society and people would accept me, that wasn't the case. So jobs was just turning me down.
Wow.
And I'm like, y'all seeing my record and y'all just getting one aspect of who I am, but what's on paper is not who I am.
Right.
So I instantly, what we do, we revert back to what we know. Stupid. So I heard when you said, like, as far as Cupcake hasn't been back to prison, but honey, I threw a few bricks at it. I'll tell you that, a few bricks, because I was so lost.
Right.
I was so lost, Virgil, in Somerset, that like literally lost when I'm driving my car. I get lost in Somerset. How do you get lost in the hood you was raised in?
Right.
I had to adapt to a lot of different things. I had to adapt to criticism. I had to adapt to people just automatically thinking that I'm this violent person, and that's not who I am. I'm love in your face. I love, but that other part of me, how we was bred and how we were raised, not tolerating certain things. So it's not easy. So if you think, oh, it's all cool. Oh, and if you have a man, he gonna hold you down, 9 times out of 10, he's not. So let's just put that out there. Men have a tendency of saying women won't hold them down. Your man ain't gonna hold you down either. And if he is, no, he humping on something. He getting something. So a lot of times when women in there, they're just, exchanging and writing letters and exchanging with strangers, sugar daddies, because a lot of men creep. Let me say that. They creep and they find women that are incarcerated because they feel like they're weak and they're easy prey. So it's a huge dynamic to this. I'm not sure if I answered your question, because I'll just get to talking and certain thoughts will come into my mind.
You're doing exactly what I want you to do. Keep going, man.
Yeah, so I just want the young ladies to really understand. You think it's gangster? First of all, if you're thorough, it's already in you. It can't be taught.
Right.
None of that. So if you're following things within your neighborhood or different things because you want a status, or you want to be considered a gangster, first of all, that's stupid. If you're a lady, you want to be considered a lady and a woman at all times. I don't care what you do. Just like Virgil said, I've never carried myself in a way that other than respectful and as a lady. And mind you, I was full-fledged gangster. Don't think you're not going to end up anywhere other than pregnant with a whole lot of kids, jail, or dead. See, for a long time, I had to realize, because I was involved in shootouts, prior to my case. I was involved in scams and different types of things. I like money. So to me, it was like, let's get this bread. I wasn't afraid. I was fearless. And because of that, I experienced a lot of different things. I know now, for real, prison saved my life, brother.
Right.
Can't nobody tell me different. And no, that's not a place you want to be. But if you had the mentality that I had in the 90s, growing up in Ackler Green in Somerset, gangster mentality. That's what it was about. Nothing else. I mean, you can show love, but we was about that life in the 90s. They have no idea, though, what comes with that.
Right.
I heard it disappointed a lot of people, especially my mother. Because
Right.
she's like, Cupcake, you have so many talents. You got so many talents. How is this, and that? And then back then, I wasn't into expressing myself. You couldn't get a feeling out of me. It was very rare, even with her, even with my father.
Right.
You know, it was rare because I had the mentality, you show feelings this week. You know, ain't nothing wrong with me. Something wrong with y'all for thinking something wrong with me. That's how I thought.
Right.
Nah, no. I was all the way wrong because I was out there. You know what I mean? And it wasn't about uh, being whorish, even though everybody make mistakes. But I was more on that gangster. Like, I was never the type of woman that wanted the baller. I wanted to be the baller.
Right.
And guess where it got me? Sitting down in Marysville for 4 years because you want to be about that life. Is that what you want?
Mm-hmm.
It's not. You know, it brings tears to my eyes kind of when I think about it.
Right.
Because everything was so wrong. Our village was so out of order. And when I say a village, I mean your neighborhood. I mean the people that are around you. Because see, within my family, and I'm talking about uncles, you know, aunties,
Right.
cousins, they glorified, in a sense to me, that type of behavior.
Right.
I wasn't getting ridiculed if I did something that made some bread. It didn't matter if it was right, wrong, or indifferent. I wasn't getting ridiculed if I was fighting. You know, I prefer not, but I would defend myself. Now I was praises like Cupcake held her own. Do you see how the dynamics of your village
Yeah.
plays a huge role?
Big bro.
So I'm thinking it's okay. All these women around me or that I saw, not one of them I could say made me feel like I can listen to you. I can actually gain something from you. And I'm talking about in a positive sense.
Right.
That I can gain something from you. A lot of times I would look at them like, you showing me everything what not to do. You showing me how to be a hustler. You showing me that, okay, I know that we like to get on a lot of women nowadays, but even throwback, a
Right.
lot of our women was gossipy.
Right.
They was in marriage after marriage or relationships after relationships.
Talk about it.
It really wasn't a good role model. And I think it's very important that our young ladies have someone to look at like, okay, she can understand where I'm at. She can show me the future of where you're going to be
Right.
more than likely if you continue in that way. And she shows me genuine love, genuine counsel. That's what we need. That's why a lot of our young girls are going to prisons. We got Cardi B's. Everybody want to just be so fake and just beautiful and so like popping.
Right.
Stupid.
Right.
That's not what you want to be, because at the end of the day, it's really not respected. If you understood the dynamics of that really was about, then you wouldn't be trying to be those individuals or sliding down a pole and doing certain things. You wouldn't even want to be a drug dealer. Let me say that.
Right.
You wouldn't even want to be what I was. You wouldn't want to hit licks. You wouldn't want to do any of that once you understand the dynamics of why it's set in place and what's going on.
Right.
It's all about destroying us, and us meaning the Black culture. We are the most powerful culture, and they know that. So they put certain things on TV. They say certain things and do subliminal things for you not to understand that you are the greatest. We create every nationality. That truth they don't want. So what we're going to do, we're going to flood the streets with drugs. We're going to make it look like it's okay for everybody to be slapping that ass on a pole, excuse my language, and anything else that's just destroying what we were naturally made to be. It breaks my heart, Virgil.
Right.
Like, you really have no idea because I was a product of that.
Right.
I fed into that. I sold my people poison. I've shot people. I've hit licks. I've done things. Now, mind you, I never caught a case. So I'm talking about prior to me catching my case. I was already doing this. So I'm mapping away to prison.
Right. And that's another aspect too, you know what I'm saying? Like and that's crazy that you just said what you just said, because you know someone came up for this too, man. I think about, you know what I'm saying, I think about all the stuff that I've done that I didn't get caught for. You hear me? You know what I'm saying? And that's why when you said going to the joint saves a life, you know what I'm saying? And for me, I'm gonna say that last time that I got locked up, definitely did. Because the first 2 times I was still young, dumb, was skip shit up in no time. No, I was in there doing what I was doing. I was on the street and all that crazy stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's in and out. It was like not a long sentence, like, you know, because out here in Ohio, man, they quick to send you to prison. They send you to prison for 5 goddamn months out here in goddamn Ohio. You hear me? But that last little dang demo I got Trump for on that 6.5, you hear me?
Got real, didn't it?
You don't know something in 6.5 years, something might be wrong. You might want to, you know, something that might mean something else. That's another topic for another day. But you know what I'm saying? Like that I think that's the ill aspect of it right there too, though, because you know what I'm saying? Being in that environment, man, has a strong effect on you, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you're going to be affected now. Like I said, whether you allow it to be a negative effect or positive effect, that's on you. You know what I'm saying?
Or both, because you have I had the negative and the positive. And one of the pros or positive things about it was I was able to see that a lot of my thinking concerning certain people or demographics of their life, I was wrong. You know, I was able to reach a lot of people because I can speak, you know, if I'm comfortable. So most of the time I'm silent, you know, but when I do speak, I try to speak and bring something that will help, you know. And then the cons of it, a lot of negative things about it was being around all that estrogen. Oh my gosh, it was too much. Whew. It was way too much. And see, I'm not an emotional person by nature. You know, I don't wear first of all, we're created like that. But let me backslide and say this. I don't wear my feelings on my sleeve. Right. So I'm seeing things that's going on in different situations like, oh, y'all tripping. I'm seeing women get raped. I forgot to mention that. And I know that you're probably thinking like, how? Literally raped by other women with broomsticks and different things if they owe down, you know, or if, you know, a certain person is feeling a type of way. So that's definitely, like I said, it's not a place that you want to be. But if you ever put yourself in that position, you better be mentally strong, because if you're not, you're going to break. You're going to break. Period. I would be in a hole hearing people screaming, yelling. I'm like, how long she been there? 3, 4, 5 years. I'm like, well, no wonder she crazy putting feces on the walls and doing all this. I see. It's a trip.
Yeah, exactly. I say it's specifically designed to break you mentally. You know, man. And then think about this aspect. Then they send these people out to society too. You know what I'm saying?
And thinking that, well, I feel like they know what they're doing. We know they know what they're doing. So you already know this person is coming back after doing all this time or being mentally damaged into a world that they don't even know nothing about. I only did 4 years and I had to catch up. Do you hear me? Yeah. And the fact that, you know, I'm mentally there, it didn't take long, but I did. So imagine a person that has been broken, because a lot of people get broken in prison. A lot of people do.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Yeah, and what I noticed, you know what I'm saying, it's kind of like they promote the, you know what I'm saying, the furthering of the mental health. Because I'm saying, like, when I was locked up, they had programs for people that was claiming that what they also would do more than that is they would push the drugs, or they would push you to go to the site. If you're not feeling good, go talk to the site. And when you go talk to that site want to try to offer you some type of psychotropic drug. I said they was experimenting on niggas in there. Like I'm pretty sure they was doing to them chicks up there in Marysville and DCI too.
Oh, absolutely. They try to make me believe that I needed medication. I'm like, y'all stupid. If that's what you try to convince me of, you the one that need to be on medication. But I understood the bigger picture. They wanted me slow. They wanted me, just not really in a ready. They wanted to be able to just be able to use me for whatever it was. I wasn't going to, I'm like, I don't need no medications. Well, Cupcake, your rage is a little bad. And I'm like, okay, well, what's the groups? Like you spoke on groups. So I was in this group called Cage of Rage. And I'm like, I don't have a rage. They're not understanding. I'm logical. If I get upset, it's really because I believe, don't die. I really be believing like it's necessary at that time. Honey, I get in this group and I'm talking. Now, mind you, I'm watching this counselor. I mean, she thinks she's so slick. Like, I really analyze people. I'm like, I think they're so slick. So she put me in her office one day and she's like, well, you really don't, share stories like that. I'm like, I do share stories. Pay attention. If you pay attention, you'll catch up. I say a lot without saying a lot. So pay attention to it. Don't you know she tried to convince me the reason why I was in prison was because of my mama? And what I mean by that, she said I idolized her too much. You tripping. So I said what I said, end up getting kicked out the group because it happened. End up getting kicked out. And I remember everybody coming back in armed forward. They're like, Cupcake, you ain't coming back. She said, if you do this, if you do that, they want you to jump through circles. They want you to be a monkey. If you just come in there and just apologize, she'll let you back in. I'm like, I don't give a damn about that group. I didn't want to be in there anyways. But this is a type of psychological games that they play on you. Y'all not wanting this. Y'all really are not prepared for really what's going on behind these walls. You got COs raping. You got women raping. You got any drug you want. I made so much money off of drugs, and the fact that one of the COs happened to be a homie that I knew, so he bringing it in. Now I'm masterminding because I still have the same mentality at this time that I had in the streets, get this money. And mind you, I didn't even have to do that because my mother held me down. I ain't want for nothing. When I rode to Marysville, I rode with $1,000, or really $999, because that's what it was from in the workhouse. But that was my conditioned behavior. Do you see why it's so important to make sure that you have more positive than negative around you?
Right.
Especially if you're dealing with a strong individual like me. I'm very strong. I'm able to dissect certain things. I'm not about to, play myself intentionally, or get in a situation when I'm thinking is I'm about to get this bread.
Right.
No, I should have been thinking about, you need to be figuring out what college you're going to go to. You need to figure out your high school, finish school. Because I didn't finish high school. Like I said, I got my GED in there.
Right.
I would score one of the highest. That's why they gave me the job. Tutor people, help them get their GED.
Right.
It's real important, man. People have taken out the aspect of a village and they don't understand how important the village really is.
Right.
Because my village was gangsters, hustlers, and go-getters, period.
Yeah, man. A lot of the people who we grew up with, man, they ain't even here no more too. That's the sad part about it, though. You know what I'm saying? And,
no.
And this is why I say this. I think it's very important to have this conversation right here because, you know what I'm saying, there's a lot of young people, man, young men and young women who out here living, doing the same stuff we was doing when we was young. You know what I'm saying? Uncle Diggity, what's good? Hit that like button, man. Hit that notification bell. Definitely subscribe to the page. You know what I'm saying? Hit the cash app if you could, if you would, if you could, if you can. You ain't got to, though. You know what I'm talking about? But more than anything, hit that goddamn like button. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. Because, like, as I noticed, like I said, and this is a thing that I did notice as I did look into some things. I noticed that the recidivism rate amongst females who go to the joint is way higher than males. You know what I'm saying? In some states. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's like what I notice about nowadays too, Cupcake, is that females are committing more violent acts than ever. You know what I'm saying? On a wide basis. Now, you know, so you could say that, of course, women have been committing violent crimes and stuff like that, but not more so than now. And then we see it a lot more now due to social media. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And like you said, you was locked up in there with some savage women, man.
Savage. Whoo, child.
I'll let you speak on
Listen.
hi Nemo, how you doing, man? I just I want you to talk about, you know what I'm saying, for all the chicks out, because you know there's a lot of girls out here that want to be gangster, you know, like real masculine, think they tough. You know what I'm saying? They talk to the guys all crazy. Oh, you see it all on social media. You see these girls, man, smacking niggas and getting in fights with dudes in clubs and stuff, and getting to them at stores and restaurants and all type of crazy stuff, and talking crazy to the police even and stuff, man. Let these girls know, man. You know what I'm saying?
Well, let me say this. You're just stupid.
Right.
You're stupid if you're a lady doing those type of things, even though I understand why you're doing what you're doing, because it goes way deeper. You know, we are conditioned from Willie Lynch. You know, we have been placed, a lot of us women have been placed in a position where we're standing and holding things and putting stuff on our back that we're not even designed to be doing.
Right.
I think that because of, you know, how they've programmed us, that a lot of men are, man, they depend on their women.
Right.
You know, and women are so quick to want to be like, I'm so down. I'm a ride with him. Okay, I got it. I understand. I was a rider too, baby, but I was smart. Okay.
Right.
You want to be so down. You're doing things outside of your character that you don't even understand. And also, I understand this too to be a fact. You're so damaged from whatever's been going on within your life. That's why you acting like you hurt for real, baby. I caught my case because I was hurt first, then I got angry. I would have never thought people that I cared about would have came for me like that. And a lot of times we don't have people to talk to. We don't have other women or other elders to talk to that could give us a wise counsel. Like I said, it still boils down to what we're seeing more. I mean, I was raised in a church, even though I understood that was false. That's why I went seeking things. But my majority influence was gangsters. Period.
Right.
And that's not okay. Like, I don't understand why, aside from my mother, why I did not have an older woman counseling me in a way that could have groomed my natural skills, groomed naturally who I was.
Right.
So guess who did groom me? The gangsters did. Absolutely, because it was already in me thorough. It's already there. So it was easy for me to grasp onto something that I'm like, okay, if y'all can do it, I know I can do it way better than y'all. That was natural. That shouldn't even been where my head was.
Right.
There's no discipline. We just letting girls and boys, but we're specifically talking about the young ladies. Just parents is just letting them do whatever. Y'all think it's cool for your little 3-year-old to be twerking? You really think that on social media? Or being able to rap and say all the words to some lyrics, but you don't know how to say your ABCs and count? Man, it start young. And what I notice is it's a lot of young mothers. So if they wasn't groomed properly, then what you think you're going to get? And it just keeps going and it keeps going and keeps going.
Right. And what Project Leroy said. Didn't have a chance to be
Not
laid.
properly. Project. Oh, go ahead, Verge.
Now go ahead, respond.
Project Leroy, not properly to me, now that I'm thinking back. Absolutely not. And I want to reiterate this. I have a strong mom. I've had people that care about me She, took care of the house, took care of the bills, worked hard. I had a lot of great influences, but because of the hours that she had to work, that gave me a lot of free time. Gave me a lot of free time to explore things. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like, yeah, I did have a proper leader, but then I didn't either because most of my influence came from the hood. I wanted to get money. I really didn't care about relationships. I wasn't the type that just fall in love and be all stupid over it. I never have been like that. So to me, I was money motivated, spiritually motivated too. Because one thing for certain, two for sure, is when I was doing crimes and certain things, or running away, or just doing foolish things, I would run away with my Bible, child. Make that make sense. I had my Bible with me hitting licks.
That's crazy.
It's true, Virgil. So true. So it was like the thing that I needed more consistency. I really, really just needed a woman because I had a great man in my life. So that wasn't the issue, but I can just flutter my eyes and get away with my dad. So that didn't matter. You see, I can get away, but I didn't have a consistent woman outside of my mother showing me the things that, was of great value, telling me like, Cupcake, why is you selling drugs?
Right.
Why are you hitting licks? Now I'm keeping this from my mama.
Right.
The only reason why my mama found out that I was selling drugs, because she just happened she knocked on my door, my bedroom door, and opened the door, and I had my lampshade was off because I was trying to cut up my work. We're gonna talk about it. Right. I got a scar on my elbow from that lampshade, that ball. And when she opened up the door, I instantly tried to cover it up, and that's how I got burned. And she was like, oh my God, Cupcake. So I was hiding a lot of different things because I can character up very well when I have a purpose to what I'm doing.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hey, that's the same for me too, man. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Now, one of the things I can say, and I hope the young ladies hear this too, I never had a lot of kids. I don't even have any children biologically, and I'm capable of it. Right. I never wanted to be a baby's mama. So it was like I still had ideals and thoughts in my head. Like, no, I wouldn't be married if I have a baby. Right. I've raised a lot of kids. But see, a lot of young women don't understand being baby mamas come with that street life too. Do you really want just to be a baby mama? And I don't take away from no baby's mothers. But do you want to just have multiple kids by multiple men and doing these idiotic type things? It's a lot. Then go to jail and you got kids.
And I'm just telling you from the aspect and perspective of being a father while your child is out there. I could just imagine what it is like for the mama. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
I don't imagine it being no more or less though, but I'm just saying though, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Y'all women, y'all have a more of a stronger connection with the children because they literally came through y'all. So, you know what I'm saying? I could just imagine being in the joint and being away from your child or your children, or having your child while you're in a joint and having to bond with the child for what is it, like 6 months? I think they have them in there, and then you got to go give them to like whoever you gonna have presiding on them over them while you in there for the whatever time you in there.
Do you know how many women I see cry? They just was crying and heartbroken because of that, or come from a visit from seeing their kids and they're just messed up.
Right.
I'm like, it's just, I don't, go ahead.
And that's, I could just imagine.
And it was a lot. And then especially like you said, if you have that bonding time of that 6 months, and then your child is ripped away from you, do you know how psychologically that's going to mess you up? Or you have a long bed, you had your baby, you might have been sentenced to 4 years like I was, or 8, but did 4, or whatever. And then you coming home and your baby don't even know you, and they're not trying to listen to you. They're not trying to respect you. They don't consider you mother.
Right. That's a whole different dynamic right there too.
Prison is a very big impact for us ladies.
Right.
on all levels and stages. It's like you don't want that. You don't want your child looking at you like, who's you and why are you telling me this? Grandma been raising me out. That's mama. Or you hearing your baby call somebody else mom? Ooh, I know that would kill me.
Man.
Some of the women coming back from visits and so angry that they're starting things because they can't be with their kids.
Mm-hmm.
Do you realize if your child is born in prison, your child has a number? Really?
Right.
It's not what you want, baby.
Hold on, back that up. Hold on, whoa. Hit that like button. You hear me? Hit that subscribe notification bell. And please subscribe to the page, please. And let's say that again. What you just said about your
When
baby.
your child is born in prison, your child is born with a number. You don't even understand the type of energy that you done penetrated within your child. So 9 times out of 10, it's good. It's a good chance they may go to prison themselves.
Now, see, this is why I say it's important to have these conversations. And I knew when Coco come on here, she was going to drop some jewels because I didn't know that. Okay.
Oh, absolutely. Can you imagine?
For y'all that don't know, a number in any state in this country, if you go to prison, they give you a number. That's your identification number. That's how you go to the store. That's how you're basically known as that number.
Your state property.
And that lets you know that you are a property award of the state officially. You hear me? And the fact that if you be a woman that's in prison and you are with child and give birth to a child while in prison, that your child gets a number,
you are state property.
So that's a whole nother aspect. That's a whole nother topic for a whole nother show right there. You hear me? That's deep. I did not know that, Cupcake, man. I didn't know.
No, absolutely. They're born into it. It's like, people really don't understand vibrations, that they don't understand certain things. Like, this is real. You literally conceived, you had your baby in prison, you have a number, your baby is considered a number as well. Do you understand the effects that it can have as they get older? They've already been in that type of energy. It's already in them. They're probably going to go to prison. I'm not saying they will, but don't be surprised if they do.
Right. And this is what I be talking about, y'all, when I be talking about epigenetically passed down trauma. This is what I'm talking about. They got it to a science. I witnessed this while I was in prison. Listen, when I was in the joint, they used to have, you know what I'm saying, these little programs to where like your family could come in on like special nights. And if you signed up enough in time, you know what I'm saying, you probably would be choose to be able to do it and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? It's just like she said, how they try to mess with your mind and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And try to give you these interactions outside of the prison. Then this is another aspect too. I noticed as I was leaving that they was bringing more technology in. I noticed that I wouldn't be surprised if they start giving them niggas cell phones in that joint. You hear me, man? I'm talking about. I just noticed that the level of technology that was introducing that I was leaving, and here we are right now. That's why you always hear me talking about the smart grid. But
but you do realize that they get cell phones. They have them in there.
Oh, for sure. That's a fact. There's nothing easy. You pay a little bit of money, but that ain't nothing. You get one popping. There's nothing.
Yeah.
But the fact that that right there, I did not know that. I'm definitely about to look into that.
Oh, absolutely.
I never even contemplated, even think that. You know what I'm saying? She must have fell out real quick. She'll come back right back in. I didn't know that. And this is why I say it's important to have the conversations like this, man, because like that's good information to know and something to take into consideration. You know what I'm saying? Especially for a young lady who may be out there doing whatever she's doing, maybe living a similar lifestyle to what Cupcake used to, man. You know, think about if you ain't got to that point to where you done found yourself in a legal situation, you know what I'm saying, you make the proper moves right now or whatever, you know what I'm saying, to go ahead and get up through. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, exactly, Project Leroy, man. I did not know that, Project Leroy. That's crazy. The fact that if your child was born while you are incarcerated, it gets an inmate number 2. Y'all better go look up at Black's Law Dictionary and look up what an inmate is. You know what I mean? And that's exactly what it is, man, when you in there. I'm talking about, and they just recently started doing that before I left. Before when they come around for them tuberculosis shots, if you refuse to get them, that'd be like refusing locking. They throw you in a hole for that. But now they just got the stuff where you can sign it for whatever. It's a whole lot of ways to slide through. You can sign paper and you ain't got to do it. Let me bring Cupcake back up.
Sir, I got disconnected.
All good. It's all good. You just bring you right back on up, man. But yeah, though, you know what I'm saying? It's just crazy how, you know what I mean? Just how, like I said, one thing I noticed when I was in there, for the time I was in there, you know what I mean? That everything they do in this society now, they was experimenting on us in the joint. Like literally everything. And when I say everything, y'all, I mean from a wide range. I'm talking about from privatization of
Flu shots. I would never get those.
Yeah, I'm talking about experimenting on us with psychotropic drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about to the sensory deprivation, to promoting homosexuality and the LGBT MNOP barbecue committee agenda with that goddamn it Priya stuff they did a few years ago. You know what I'm saying? It's from all aspects, man. You know what I mean? And like I say, man, it can definitely have a either a negative or positive effect on you, man, if you allow it to. And this is just something else that I want to add too. You know what I'm saying? I know they probably have stuff like this at Marysville too, because I know y'all did. I can't think of what it is right now. Yeah, they could, Project Leroy, and listen to what I'm saying. That's crazy that you say that, Project Leroy, because listen here. Now look at what Project Leroy said. Okay.
Oh.
Now, I was at the prison I was at before I got at, man. They had a you could call it like a old folks facility for terminally ill patients and severely chronically ill patients who were doing long amounts of time. Basically, it was like a old folks facility for old inmates with terminally and chronically diseases like cancer, AIDS, leukemia, stuff like that, right? And when and I remember when I was working in there as a porter, man. Okay, you hear me? They had me going up there cleaning upstairs, and they was having people from the CDC come in there. They was having private owned, you know what I'm saying, companies coming there collecting like, you know what I'm saying, biological data from them and stuff, because the inmates would be complaining like they doing a lot of biopsies and stuff, like taking pieces of their skin, bro. I was like, damn, this thing crazy. You hear me? So the fact that Project Leroy said what he said about genetically birthing own prisoners, man, and that's when we start getting into that other stuff. We talking about altered carbon. We talking about what I was talking about the other night. You know what I'm talking about? We getting into that's a whole nother, you feel me? And they definitely experimenting on niggas in the joint, and I'm pretty sure they experimenting. Now, when I was in the joint, this is the psychological aspect of it. They have these programs in the joint, y'all, in prison system. I'm pretty sure they're going all across America, where they call it cognitive behavior therapy, CBT, and they have I forget what the other one was. Well, of course, they got Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, and what's the other one? It was another one. I can't think of it. But anyway, all these programmers they have, you know what I'm saying, was designed to, like, you hear how she said when she went to the program and they like trying to like make you, you know what I'm saying,
believe something false.
Yeah, like paint this picture of how you came up as to where you were in prison and stuff now. And I could totally relate to that, because although, you know what I'm saying, certain aspects in our childhood led to where we're coming, you know what I'm saying, these people in prison, they try like to paint pictures and they take notes, because what they're doing in there is they're mentally assessing people from when they come home and being released. This can be on your record. And remember when I keep telling y'all about the smart grid, I keep telling y'all about how they keep tracking people through track and trace and stuff like that. Remember I told y'all about security threat groups in prison, which I'm pretty sure is what they call them in y'all in female and women's prison as well. STG, threat groups, ABs, you know what I'm saying, Crips, Bloods, all that type of stuff. Any type of group of people, and that ties into HR 1955. I'll be telling y'all about the Violent Radicalization and Homegrown Terrorism Prevention Act. You know what I'm saying? So, and I got this is why I say on the micro level, I noticed how when I came home, and it was just ill to me because you know when me came up, it was ill to me because when I came home, because I'm like, damn, they was really doing all of this stuff out here that they was doing to us in prison, man. Talking about everything from genetically modified food to the privatization of the industry. You know, the Aramark is running the food service and prison system in Ohio now. It's a private company. You know what I'm saying? They even privatizing the healthcare in there. You know what I'm saying? Pretty soon, I'm pretty sure they're about to start privatizing the security, the COs and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? I just noticed how a lot of stuff, like I said, they started giving them the tablets where you can download music and pictures and do visits from the tablet and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And this is what I'm saying. I witnessed how they experimented on us in there. And I see that in the prison is where they do a lot of this experimentation as far as like the technology, drugs, especially psychotropic drugs. You feel me? And everything else too, especially like I said with the PREA. Y'all heard me talk about the PREA on Red's platform a little bit. I'm pretty sure other states got something similar. You know what I'm saying? Well, but PREA was a national thing. That was like an act of Congress and stuff like that, though. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? That whole Prison Rape Elimination Act, you know what I mean? That added an aspect to how promoting the LGBT element. Okay, like I said, promoting that, and they like advocating for that. Them guys are protected in there now versus when before, you know what I'm saying? They were, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's another kind of worm. So, you know what I'm saying? Now, as far as now that you've been home, you feel me? You said you came home what, 04?
Mm-hmm.
Nino came
Yeah.
home the same year. He got out 2004 too.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
Well, since I've been home, it's been a lot of ups and downs, a lot of roller coasters.
right,
I've done a lot of speaking, and I speak to a lot of young ladies behind the scenes, a whole lot of them, Virgil, especially the ones that I see a lot of me in. And I sit and converse with them like I'm conversing with you. When I very first came home, a lot of my mother's friends would ask her, "Can you have cupcake? Just come over here. She's experiencing this, she's experiencing that, just speak." I'm really trying to find, my avenue. I have no complaints about life because, like you said, we waking up, we already winning, honey. But right now, I want to really try, and because of you, you've opened me up. You've made me more comfortable with speaking publicly. But I would like to speak with more women, more young ladies, let me say that, and gather more women that understand my circumstances and the circumstances of so many other women as far as being incarcerated,
right,
and really just get together and build a foundation to let the young ladies know, baby, y'all not alone, y'all not misunderstood, and you have options.
right,
So, it's been a lot of positive and a lot of negative. It's been more positive though, but right now that's where I'm at. I have no complaints about anything. It ain't easy. I want the young ladies to know that it's not easy. It has not been easy, especially if you're the type of woman that doesn't look at a man as a source of income. Because you have a lot of people that just go dig. I mean, it's just what it is. So when you're not that type of person and you really have to make it happen, because I'm not about to sell my soul. I'm not about to sleep with nobody for no money. I'm not about to do any of these things. You got to make a way. And it ain't always the easy way, especially if you do it by yourself. So for me personally, I am in a good space. I'm happy, but I know that it's more I'm supposed to do. And I feel like the fact that you have finally gotten me to speak about some things, it's a reason for that. There's no coincidences. Everything
definitely not.
aligns for a reason. And I see the positive you do. I see the good you do. And I want to be a part of that. So
Right.
that's just where I'm at right now. Now I'm just trying to figure things out. I'm very blessed. I'm great, but yeah, it's a struggle
Yeah, it is
because
though.
I still had things, even though I caught my case so far back,
Right.
I still had that judgment, you know, of kids. They're not going to let no felon, no felonious assault type of person, they just think they know who I am, work with children. So it's not, it never gets, I can say it gets better, but it never leaves you. Your number never leaves you. The society doesn't allow that.
Mm-mm.
So
Definitely.
don't think go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I just was saying it definitely doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't. So for these young ladies to believe, it's all good. It's going to be all good. I can do this bid. I can do this number. Have no idea what the future holds. You cannot foresee the different things that you're going to have to go through, especially if you're trying to do better. Now, if you're still just get out, you ain't learned anything, and you just on the same stuff, okay, it is what it is. But when you're actually wanting to do something different and you're tapping into your gifts, don't think it's going to be easy if you got a number stamped on your back. It's not.
Not at all. Yeah, and that's crazy because even with all the stuff they have in place for women, when you get that number on your name, it makes things a little bit more difficult for you.
Absolutely. Because I've actually had a conversation with someone I know that has been incarcerated like us.
Right.
And he was explaining, he was like, it's harder for us. Y'all don't understand. Da 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 to get out and get a job. I said, okay, well, now, first of all, your feelings is valid. So
Right.
I'm not going to negate what you think or what you feel. But what he didn't understand is it's actually more easier for a black man than a black woman to get a job that has a number because y'all are men. You see what I'm saying? They see
Right.
strength in y'all. It's a lot of jobs they feel like, oh, she's a felon and she's a woman. There's no way that she can
Right.
do this. So I'm like, we discussed it and we came to a very good medium. Let me say that.
Right.
He understood where I was coming from and I understood where he was coming from. But these women really don't, unless you got some, let me say, connections. You're not about to get out here and think you're just going to win like that.
Right.
It's not going to happen. So now let's talk about if you got a baby and you just got out of prison, you got a number. Now you got to figure out how to provide for your baby. You got to figure out certain things. And you're going to get frustrated when things don't come the way that you felt that they would.
Definitely.
It's just not worth it. Now, I'll say this. I'll always stand on my principle. I don't necessarily feel like that I was wrong in what I did,
Right.
but I do feel like I could have maybe played a different dynamic
Right.
in settling that situation.
Right.
But all I knew was the gangster stuff. Verse, that's all we knew. We was not walking around here with no, like these men tight jeans and doing
Yeah.
all this stupid crazy. Man, it was real life gangsters in the 90s.
Yeah. Gotta say
That's what I
that.
knew.
Gotta say that, man. And it's crazy because, like I said, and this when I be having discussion with some young homies that I be talking to, I be telling them like things when we was young, things was crazy like how they is now. Is just the only difference is we have this technology because it was going down in the '90s. You hear me, man? It was going down.
Do you know how many times I said I'm so glad we didn't have like them real life cell phones? When the cell phones first came out, they looked like house phones. They was real big and bulky. You couldn't record nothing. I said
Uh,
that so many times, like, oh, I'd have been in prison probably.
hey, Kaya Nemo got a question for you, okay?
Oh, okay.
It's right there on the screen.
No, they didn't. Now, let me tell you something about that. There are resources that are offered,
Right.
okay? Me being that I didn't have children, I didn't qualify for a lot of those resources. Okay. So it was like housing, when you get out, we're going to help you do this, do that if you had a child. Well, you don't have a child. So guess what? You're on your own. You have to figure it out. So no, me personally, I can't speak for everyone that got out of prison. I'm not sure, but I know for me, there was no help. We actually had a career day kind of sort of in the pre-release right before I came home. And I'm this just triggered that memory. And there were, people coming in saying they're offering jobs, to women and different things like that. They're going to do this. A lot of that was predatory. They were preying on us. I had this one gentleman tell me, he said, I got you. When you get out, I seen your resume, when you get out, I got you a job. I'm like, okay, cool. I get out, I'll call him. He's like, well, if you need any clothes or you need any shoes or if you need any this and that, I can get that for you. That way you'll be able to get. Now, mind you, the job then went out the window. Now he's talking about so I can get another job. I already had all that. So a lot of things, it looks as if this is going to be helpful. A lot of it isn't, baby.
Right.
It isn't. It's all about the money. It's all about, like he was preying on me. He had to have been, because when I hit him with that, I don't need any of that. I'm blessed. I have everything that I need. The job went out the window. And then guess what I did? I went back to what I knew.
Right.
So no, baby, not for me. Not for me. No.
Right.
You might get a halfway house or something.
Yeah. And even in the halfway house, and I'm gonna tell you that because I was in the halfway house, and you know what I mean, they put you through the same little things, little pre-release stuff, man. You know what I'm talking about, in little classes and stuff like that. And they plug you with some. I ain't gonna say a lot of halfway house. Definitely, well, in Ohio anyway, it'll plug you with some good resources, man. You know what I'm saying? I actually, when I was messing up here at the Goodwill when I got out, and that's how I got my job that I was working at until till they laid me off in 2019, and you know what I'm saying, and that's when I started going to media school and stuff. You feel me? So
No, that's blessings.
you feel me? But yeah, though, man, I ain't gonna sit here and lie. They say they don't have resources for men, but when it come to housing and stuff like that for the men, man, it's show. It's so. You hear me? They got little places you can go stay for like a period of time, but eventually, if you don't find nothing, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna have to figure it out. And this is what I will say though. Hold on. All right, yeah, I had the other screen on the background. My fault. I will say this though: they do not have no housing in place for the guys, man. You hear me? And when you got a felony on your record, trying to get housing.
That's a whole nother aspect, because I've been turned down from places because of my felon.
Listen.
And I literally, seriously, Virgil and Miss K, I seriously was checking into these resources, and there was no one willing to help me because I didn't have any kids, because I wasn't mentally or physically disabled. No, I had to figure it out myself.
Right. And that's crazy. Like, it's almost like in order for you to get any type of resources after going through that situation, you gotta like be messed up.
Yeah.
And that leads back to what I said. Some people come home and they then have a negative effect on them. And you notice the people that it doesn't have a negative effect on, that they don't have a lot of resources available for them type people when they come home. If you're not like on some type of drugs, they influence you. They like, you know what I'm saying, they like promote it to you, market it to you, basically, to be, going to the psych ward to get on drugs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like,
honey, I was told to play crazy. Like, literally. They was like, baby, just play crazy. Going down there, get you a couple pills, and I promise I'm not doing that. I'm not putting that into my body. I'm not going to mess up my mental state. So, no, I literally had to get it out the gutter all over again.
Right. Yeah. Kai Nemo said, what about family?
Well, I had a very strong family support system. Absolutely. I'm actually at my mom's now doing the podcast,
Mhm.
so that was never an issue as far as is it anybody there to support you?
Right.
No. But me being a grown woman, I had to figure out how to do it myself. Now that support system, I'm telling you, it was very important. It was very important because it strengthened me and it pushed me, to continue in the right directions, even within my mistakes. I told you, Virgil, I was out not even 30 days before I wrecked my vehicle.
Yeah.
And I wrecked it because I went back into old behaviors because the job didn't come through the way that it was supposed to. And to me, I went back to what I knew. But
Right.
I have support. Absolutely. Family wise, absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
And that's a good thing to have too, though, man, because especially after if you do a stretch of time too, why it's good to have a nice little family structure set up. Somebody to help you out for a hot few seconds if you need them to. You know what I mean? Until you get things
Hmm.
together, though. But I will say this though, man. What I mean, the recidivism rate amongst men has went down, man, like significantly. You know what I'm saying? But what I do, and that's people who get out and go back though. But that ain't got nothing to do with people who keep coming though. You know what I'm saying? So that's a good thing. You know what I'm saying? But when I just remember when I was in there and towards the end, right, like about a year before I left, I noticed it was a lot of young guys coming in there. I'm talking about 18, 19, 20, like lots of them doing crazy time. I'm talking about stupid numbers. Do you hear me? And I'll just be sitting there and just like I was just people just was drawn to me and all the young dudes would come talk to me. Cause when I was in there, I'm like, man, I just did 6.5 years, man. I'm about to go home and I gotta make sure I'm not fried like how these dudes is in here, like how I seen dudes I know from the streets come in and we done been doing this time. I just seen the mental breakdown. You hear me? I done seen the goddamn decay. I just seen it over a period of time with some people who I was locked up with. You hear me? And it's just crazy. You know what I'm saying? That's why I make sure. You know what I'm saying? When I was in there, man, Cupcake, I make sure. You know what I'm saying? When I make sure when I was in, I make sure I read books, stayed in the library. I had a subscription to Popular Mechanics, Popular Science. You know what I'm saying? I was fortunate enough to be somewhere where I was close to the city and I was, you know what I'm saying? And I had a nice support system. So I have connection on the street. Not to mention at CRC, Cupcake, man, we had access to the library downtown.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I had access to all types of books. And let me tell y'all, for me personally, having access to the reading material that I had access to for them 2.5 years I was a cadre at CRC was very detrimental, man. Very, uh, very, you know what I'm saying, a huge part, you know what I'm saying, that would really help me out and, you know what I'm saying, make sure when I came home that I wasn't like most of these guys, some of these guys when they get out. Yeah, it is.
Because to be honest with you, the books and me just writing helped me a lot.
Right. And
We were already naturally strong mentally, but that helps you. Absolutely.
it's very cathartic, man. I wrote a lot, man. I was writing songs, writing just writing all type of, I was writing stories, just writing my thoughts. Just, that stuff it helped you out. That's what keep you sane in there. You know, so that's why I say when I was in the hole, I did the same thing. I just read books, I was
Hmm.
writing and stuff, and you know what I mean. And even in that aspect, being able to handle it, that's still at some extent adapting to the environment, but that's adapting to it and not then have a negative effect on you. Because I'm talking about some stuff I seen while I was in the joint on that 6.5 bit Cupcake. You hear me now? Listen,
Honey, be like, for real?
I was a cadre at CRC for 2.5 years, and I was a porter in the D1 and the D2 unit where the mentally health guys come in. I'm telling you, the stuff I saw, and this is how I'm familiar with how the drugs work. I know they was experimenting on them boys. I'm saying, telling y'all, it was crazy, man. These dudes was doing. I've seen dudes come in there who were like, they might have been a little bit of rowdy, just like a wild guy, but then they just sit up there and they start putting them on them drugs and keeping them locked up in them holes for months on end. And I just watched
Years on end.
I just watch people just decay, and I just seem like they cold experimenting on these dudes, man. I'm talking about with all type of crazy drugs. You hear me? And I just
Mhm.
be there, just you know what I'm saying. But like you said, I feel like that was a big part. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, everything the what I'm doing now and how I'm living. You know what I'm saying? Like that was the experience. I feel as for me that I had to see. You had to be. I had to experience that. That's a part of everything that's going on now. Because you know what I'm saying, it all like my man said earlier, it's all coming full circle because like and I always emphasize this when I had this conversation, like, and this is what led me to go on the path of like doing all of this figure like, listen, I got all this time, okay, I'm about to download everything, you hear me? That's just where my mind frame was at, and I'm just, you feel me? But when I came home, I wanted to make sure that my mind was sharp, you feel me? Because I understand being in that environment, how it can dull your mind, how it's literally set up to change this. You feel me? So when you come out here, you either go back or, you know what I'm saying, continue that vicious cycle of just going back and forth, going back and forth. You know, so then just catching time and then you never come home again. You know what I'm saying? Like so many dudes that I know have done. You know what I mean? Take a strong mind person to be able to go through that. And you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I'm pretty sure with you, a lot of people miss you and they be like, "Man, you've been to joint before." They're like, "Damn, for real? You've been to
It
prison?"
totally it throws them off, and that's a good thing.
You know what I'm saying? And that's like, and that's why I say when I talk about my experience, I don't do it from a state like I'm bragging about it, like it was nothing cool about it, man.
Nothing. Absolutely not. You
I'm
know,
just
and it's actually a compliment because that lets me know I'm not carrying myself in a way
right,
that a person will perceive as being dangerous because I'm not. You
right,
know, I'm really loved. But
right.
yeah.
And it's just fortunate, like I say, to be able to go to that experience and experience is fortunate to come from out of that and not be like screwed up here. Because like I'm saying, I know people who are what we say fried. You hear me?
Right.
You hear me? After going to the joint, man, for real, for real.
Me as well. A couple of young ladies that, well, we're older now, but that I've seen just in passing, prison messed them up. I'm talking about they out here, like you said,
Mm-hmm.
you
Fried.
know, and then a lot of them don't have family, or a lot of them didn't have anything to depend on. So they would go back
Right.
purposely. Purposely though. Like, well, they'll tell me like,
Heard
okay, I'm
Coco
about to
say,
do something to get there.
yeah, like y'all heard Coco say earlier that she went in there as soon as she got there, Sally hung herself doing after what 24 years. Damn.
Oh my gosh. And she was literally scheduled to be released maybe in a week.
Mm,
It could have been less than that, Virgil.
right.
We go to eat dinner. We come back from child.
Mm,
Oh, she dead.
damn. And just that
Mm.
experience right there, just imagine that's trauma right there, man. You know what I'm saying? Now whether it affects you in a negative way or not is could be argued, but it's trauma nonetheless, man. You know, you going even if you didn't physically see the body hanging, just to know that this person you was in a cell with, you hear me?
And
You
I
know,
still got to go to the cell. So
yeah,
I'm
you got to
still
go
feeling
there.
the energy.
Not changing your cell just because your cell off themselves in the cell. You
Not they just
gotta go
remove
back
the body. They don't care. You're just another number. You're another bill. They remove it, put somebody else in there.
now there it go right there. Now, you know what I'm saying? I feel now this is something right here. You know what I'm saying? I even told the kid about this, man. This story right here. I'm gonna share a story with y'all, man, in closing. You know what I'm saying? Before we get up out of here, man. I was in because you know when I they had me at level 3 when I had called my case here. So I was waiting to write out the Ross, which was like a 6 to 8 month wait at CRC. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sitting up in CRC for like 8 months. CRC is the Corrections Reception Center in Ohio. That's the processing place you go before they send you to your parent institution. See, I told you they got a system set up. Modern day slavery. Don't make no mistake about it. That's what it is. You hear me? They're making money off of you and everything.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Um, and I got the when I got the Ross, it was June 11th, 2011. You hear me? When I got the Ross, man, and I got to the block, Arinda, man. You know, it was hella dudes I know from the streets there, and you ain't seen dudes in a while. This is where they been at. You know what I'm saying? So you know, I'm just seeing everybody I know talking whatever. And there's a old guy. He was from Columbus too. Old guy, cool dude. You know what I'm saying? He had knew one of my homies was in there. And he just was like, yeah, because he said he knew K-Rel. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? He even showed me pictures he had with K-Rel. So I'm like, oh, so he really know Rel. You know, he got a picture with him. You know what I'm saying? So like, we chopped it up, kicking the play chess with him a couple times. I wasn't there for 3 days. When you hear me, and I remember him briefly mentioning about he had some beef with some dude from Cleveland or something like that. Some young dude from Cleveland. Like he had mentioned it, but he didn't mention it in the way like it was like serious. You feel me? So I'm just, but when this situation happened, it instantly brought me back to when he was talking about it as we were playing chess. You feel me? So on the third day I'm there, we on the yard, and I'm in the yard. I'm doing pull-ups. You hear me? Get it in. You know what I'm saying? And I see him talking to this dude across the yard, and I can tell by the interaction that it's like some heated exchange going on. And then out of nowhere, I see my dude who was playing chess with, he pulled out a knife out of nowhere and hit dude like 17, 20 some odd times, man, right there on the yard. Killed that boy right there on the yard, right? They shut the yard down for goddamn it like 3 weeks. You hear me? We in the cell. It's hot outside. You feel me? We in the cell. Only time they let us out the cell is to go to chow and goddamn it take a shower. You hear me? That it was crazy. And but the reason that happened because it was a situation to where I guess old dude had got out the hole and he had owed the dude from Cleveland something from a previous situation, you know what I'm saying? But he had told him, like, look, I just got out the hole, you know what I'm saying? And the young dude from Cleveland trying to press the old school homie. You hear me? Like, man, he basically tried to chump him off in front of his Cleveland homies in a gym type situation. Like, man, you owe me this, give me this. You know what I'm saying? And old school wasn't having it, you know what I'm saying? And he killed that boy right there on that yard. Now, mind you, old school just got done doing 23 years, 22 years. It was about to go home in 2 weeks.
That's deep.
And he killed that boy right there on that yard. You hear me? Stabbed that boy about 20 some odd times, man. And when the police came, when the COs came, he threw the knife and just laid on the ground like it wasn't yet. You hear me? And that's the type of stuff I'm talking about right there, man. That stuff, if you don't think that seeing something like that is going to have an effect on you, man, you hear me? Now, I've been seeing some crazy stuff in my life, but I'll tell you, that's 6.5 years I did in the joint. I've seen some of the craziest stuff I've ever seen in my life. You hear me?
I know for me as well.
Man, the whole time I was in the joint, I seen it was 4 people die. You hear me? All at the same prison I was at. And I was at Ross for like 12 months, not even a whole, like a little under a year, like almost a year before I got transferred to CRC.
Yeah, you know, people don't really understand how that you are going to see things that you never seen. Because I'm telling you, brother, the first time I'm laughing when I think about it now, but the first time that I saw a woman with a beard like you, that shocked my whole senses. Do you hear me? Like, how is this even possible? Do you hear? Who? How is this possible? You know, the things that I saw, and you know what I learned too? A lot of times the ones that look like boys, they was the softest ones, baby.
Right.
They be the one cried and all this. I'm like, y'all running around looking like men. Yeah, that woman coming up out of you right now, though. You do see crazy things like people would never even imagine. And so I'm like, these young girls think it's all good. It's not all good.
Not at all.
I used to get tired of women coming on to me like, dang. I mean, because it's like that. You're going to have women at your neck. You have some of the most intelligent, some of the most prettiest women behind bars. Right. You know, so that's why it's very important for these young girls to know, too. Any and everybody can make a mistake, baby. You know, I know some lifers, I'm like, oh my gosh, if you was out right now, I could just imagine the things that you would have been doing. So it's like, don't think it's sweet. And a lot of them don't have anybody, because somebody might roll with you for a couple years,
Right.
but you're a lifer. Let's just say you do something to get you life. Do you honestly think somebody's going to roll with you for life? Then you got to remember you got your family passing away, because that happens.
Mm-hmm.
That happens. My best friend at the time that I grew up with, she died while I was in prison. So it's like, don't think that this is sweet. You think this life is sweet? No, what's sweet is getting in college. What's sweet for real is really connecting to your spiritual self and understanding who you are. What's sweet is being around women that you can actually build with and grow with. Because you get up in that, it's a total different thing. You with some savages.
Savages.
I mean, ones that didn't have a foundation like you and I had. We just made choices that put us up in there.
Right.
You got people up in there that ain't never had nobody, don't care about nobody, wouldn't care about taking you out. They already doing life. They don't care about you.
Right.
And then you may get raped too. And it's like, how is that possible? It's possible in a lot of ways in a women's prison.
Damn. Now, one thing I will say, now I don't know at certain spots, you know, maybe, but from my experience, and you know, and mind you, I was at level 3. You know what I'm saying? So I was at Ross, where niggas doing crazy time. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I'm gonna say this, man. Maybe back in the day, but as of like nowadays, you know, in the system with the men, you know, you can't rape the willing. Like I said, you can't violate the willing, man. You know what I'm saying? You can't violate them, man. You know what I'm saying? Them dudes being coming in there and they be, man, listen, that's a whole nother situation. That's a whole
Baby,
question right there too, man.
and you know we be knowing, you know what I mean? And it be people that you would think would never be.
Right. Yeah, we
Then
might
it's like, and I ain't gonna front. I've had experiences with women, but that didn't have anything to do with prison. You see what I'm saying?
right.
But yeah, you got a lot of homies that come up in there that ain't the same when they leave.
Man, listen here. Hey, I'm telling y'all right now, man, that's a whole nother
The whole other topic.
I think I'm gonna have to go in on that one though, man, for real, because you know, and that's all part of the agenda that's going on right now. And I'm telling
Absolutely.
you right now, they and like I say, this is what I noticed, and I keep speaking on this because I had to build, you know, so I ain't gonna say I had to build. I'll say I was blessed with the discernment, man, while I was in there, man. You hear me? You know what I'm saying? Now, don't get me wrong, man. I ain't don't get it messed up. I done been through my fair share of trauma and all that stuff. And you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm just like anybody else. I got stuff I'm dealing with, working on too, but it didn't have such an effect on me to where, you know what I'm saying, like I know other people, like how you know it's having on people. But when I was in there, I was blessed with that gift of discernment to be able to realize what was actually going on. You hear me? And you know what I'm saying? As I was peeping what was going on in there, you know what I'm saying, that kind of, and this is what I say, me knowing what was going on and what was the whole demo, you feel me, Coco, it allowed me to navigate it and take advantage of it to my advantage, you know what I'm saying? Even down to the like I say, the re-entry stuff they got the whole system where they reintegrating back, they literally call it reintegration. You understand what it means to be reintegrated? You know what I'm saying? That's deep right there. So I'm all into it. They got programs in prison where they doing cognitive behavior therapy, neuro linguistic programming. I'm talking about literally doing the stuff that the CIA and the NSA be doing to people in prison. We had a prison a program when I was in the joint. I think they had a sister program over there in Marysville. We had a program called Oasis. Y'all had like a program, like it was a community within the prison where certain females could go and they had to like adhere to a certain strict rules.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
What was it called? You remember what the name of it was called?
I believe it was called that as well. That's what's so funny. They triggered me. Like, yeah, I believe that. I really truly believe that. And anybody that's watching has been in Marysville, if I'm not correct, put it on in there. But I believe that's it. Yes.
But listen here, y'all. It was the program that I agreed to be in. Now I had already been doing research, mind you. I told you I had access to all type of material. I'm surprised. Listen here, and I say, let me came up when I say this, man. I was shocked at the level of correspondence they would allow me to get as far as reading material. Yo, I'm thinking some of the books that I was allowed to have access to, I don't even think you allowed to even get that stuff no more in prison no more, man. You feel me? And I had access to a lot of reading material. I just wanted to say that it helped me, you know.
And see, that's a blessing, because you know what, Virgil, I wasn't considered one of the ones that could be a part of Oasis or part of things
Right.
like that. You know, and I think that that's very good that they have that type of, you know, system in place. But I was never privileged to have that.
Right.
But I do know what you're talking about, because I used to be like, why are they able to do things that I'm not able to do?
Right.
You know, why do they have access to things? I know just what you're talking about.
Now, listen, this is what I'm saying about it, though. Now, this is what I'm talking about. I'm glad I had this gift of discernment, because I realize what they doing in there is they are not only are they, you know what I'm saying, everything else, but they're literally programming people through the so-called re-entry programs that's supposed to help reintegrate people back into society. And they got programs in there, and it's a program called ACE, and this program is using neuro-linguistic programming. It's using sensory deprivation. It's using all type of MK Ultra mind fuckery. You hear me, man?
Time.
How could I say it? Psychologically program recidivism out of people. Right. What I found was, Cupcake, a lot of the guys I was in that program with, upon coming home, guess what they did?
Went right back.
No.
Killed themselves? Killed somebody?
No, killed themselves.
Mm.
I know 3 dudes I was in that program within 6 to 8 months of coming home off themselves. So this is what I'm saying. This is what made me really pay attention. Like I'm saying, I understand now that my experience I had when I was locked up, you know what I'm saying, I understand what it was all for now. You basically hear what I'm saying? Because I was sitting here peeping this stuff, and I'm like, and when I came home, I'm like, damn, they is doing it out here too. They doing it out here, but on a way huge level. I mean, a way huge level. You hear me? Yeah. To the point where we got the behavioral health pavilion on fucking on Livingston. They got that new addition to Children's Hospital, Behavioral Health Pavilion, the Odd Lots Behavioral Health Pavilion. It's basically like a mental ward for children, man. It's the biggest facility of
I can't. Are you serious?
I seen the same stuff in the joint. The same stuff they was doing to them boys and on D1 and D2. It's the same stuff they doing to them little kids up there. That place on goddamn Livingston is just built just like a prison. They got padded rooms, cells, and everything in there, man. It was crazy. It was crazy, man. You hear me?
Like you said, they're just conditioning them for prison. Like I even think about the schools. Right. You know, the way that the schools are set up a little bit. When I look at the lunches, you know, I remember our trays. I know from back when I was in school, the way the trays was set up. You know, I was timing for everything. They kind of was conditioning us to already be controlled. I was reading what you said.
But listen though, when you got to understand what rehabilitation is and what it actually means, man. You know what I'm saying? When you rehabilitate someone, you feel me? Yeah, they got programs. Thinking about that word pro. They have programs for you. For like I say, they have this whole thing where they come up with what they call it the re-entry program, where they want to reintegrate you back into society. You know what I'm saying? Now, that seemed like that's something that would be helpful. But when you understand what I was talking about with neuro-linguistic programming and basically using MK Ultra mind fuckery techniques that the CIA be using and stuff, you know what I'm saying? You got to understand what type of people, you got to understand how you are being rehabbed upon being released back into society, or should I say being integrated back into society.
Because the thing is, the programs are set up to make you believe, and I'm not saying you can't get some good from those programs, Kay, right. But they're set up in a manner for you to be conditioned in the way that they want you to behave and be when you get out of
Exactly.
Prison.
Exactly. Exactly. And this is what I'll be talking about when I'll be talking about social engineering. And that's exactly what it is, man. So, you know what I'm saying? We're going to bring this thing to a closing, man. Cupcake, man. Closing, I want you to just leave it with us some last words before we get up out of here.
I just want to say I appreciate you, Virgil, once again. I appreciate everybody that actually came out to take the time to listen to what him and I was talking about. Stand in love, love yourself, be around people that celebrate you, and peace and blessings always.
You already
Help,
know.
be
You
a
already,
blessing.
yeah, you already know. Since I'm going to hit you up, man, take care. So have a good evening.
Okay, thank you. You too. Bye, everybody.
All right.
Bye.
Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? You can just go ahead and X out. Yeah, but yeah, y'all, man. Oh, you already know, no doubt, Connie. It's all good, man. You know what I mean? And I think this important. Like I said, I think it's important. You know what I mean? Because I know personally a lot of young chicks I know who, you know what I'm saying, living a certain lifestyle, you know what I'm saying, heading down certain paths. When I was out and I just, you know what I'm saying, recognize the signs and stuff like that. Various cities across this country, the same things going on. I think when y'all hear stuff like that, you know what I'm saying, it could at least put the, you know what I'm saying, out in the atmosphere, you know what I'm saying, so you can catch on to it. Maybe it'll help you think about something from a different perspective before you make a decision that may end you up in the joint, man, because, you know what I mean, they ain't locking up or slacking up on building prisons. You know what I'm saying? Not at all. You know what I'm saying? They building more and more. It's a huge industry, even when it comes to the women. And I'm just saying, I was shocked. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you already know Project Leroy, man. You know what I'm saying? I told you, man, we having real talk over here, brother, man. Not saying nobody else not having real talk or nothing, though, but you know what I'm saying? We're gonna talk about the real stuff that, you know what I mean, I know that affect a lot of people, man, because going to prison is a serious situation, man. You know what I'm saying? Especially for being a young lady. You know what I mean? Like I said, it can either make you or break you make you a better person or break you into an even worse one. You know what I'm saying? And I just think it's good for especially young ladies to hear stuff like that though, because man, this is where that attitude gonna get y'all. This is where that FNF life gonna get you, man. This is where that you know what I'm saying, uh real lives, man. That's where that attitude gonna get you. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Taking on masculine traits and stuff like that, end up in a place just like where a man would be. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, prison ain't designed for nobody, but it's specific. They ain't definitely was never designed for no woman to be in prison. That's for sure. You know what I mean? I can only imagine. And now they letting transgenders, trans ninjas, transformers up in there too. Now, one thing for sure, two things they ain't gonna do is let a woman who thinks she's a man come to a man's prison. They are not going to. And I listen here. Y'all heard what Cupcake say when she said there are some vicious women in the prison. Listen, I know that to be true. I know some ladies I know personally from my life who was vicious women who are in prison right now for very vicious things. But one thing they ain't never going to do is let a woman who thinks she's a man or lives her life or whatever the situation may be, they're never going to let that woman come to a man's prison. So y'all think about that, man. Think about that dynamic right there. They'll definitely let a man who's a transformer come to a ladies facility, like how they and see, and this is what I'm saying. But they wouldn't let a woman who think the other way. They wouldn't. I promise you, they're not going to do it. You ain't heard about it nowhere. You ain't seen it nowhere. You ain't read about it nowhere. It's not happening. But you are seeing stories of these guys who identifying as women to being sent to women facilities, women correctional facilities, and going up in there, raping the girls and getting them pregnant and everything. So you know what I'm saying? That's an aspect of privilege too. That's a whole nother conversation right there. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to thank everybody for coming out tonight, man. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all. Hit that like button. Click on the subscribe bell. You know what I'm saying? Subscribe to the page, the notification bell, I mean. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate everybody coming out, man. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Cupcake is you know what I'm saying, real life homie from the hood. Like I said, we from the same neighborhood and everything. Grew up with each other, went to the same school, each other, everything. People's know each other. Like I said, I didn't even know I see, and that's why I'd be like, that's what's good about Highly Conversations, man. Because like I said, I've been on the radio all this time. I never knew that. I never knew my brother, who's now deceased, rest in Essence. I never knew that he was there the day that went down. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And look, and that's an aspect to look at too before we get up out of here. Young ladies out there, if y'all living the life where y'all, you know what I'm saying, probably like out there, you know what I'm saying, in the streets, because I know there's some chicks out there that's in the streets, man. Because it was chicks out in the streets when I was in the streets, and I don't think it's ain't nothing different now. You know what I'm saying? And out there, if y'all's out there like how Cupcake was out there, and I'm telling y'all to know because I know her, she was out there doing her thing, getting to it, not bragging or boasting, but I'm just saying she was really out there. But y'all see what it cost though, but she was really out there. And I'm just saying I remember when I heard about this situation going down, I was like, damn, man. I wasn't surprised, but I was like, damn, that was crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because she is a little thing. I'm like, damn, they came at her like that though. Like, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? You already know. Appreciate everybody feedback. You know what I'm saying? I just remember hearing about this, man. I remember she called that time. I'm like, damn. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. You know what I mean? And it said if you out there living a similar lifestyle, man, I'm telling you right now, possibly, potentially, more than likely, if you don't get bodied out this joint, that's probably where you're going to end up at. Cam, that boy, I appreciate that, brother. Thank you, man, for coming out, man. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you tap in, hit that like button, and hit the subscribe joint. You know what I'm saying? Hit the subscribe bell, man. Tap in, man. We're going to have more conversations coming. I appreciate y'all coming out, like I said. You know what I'm saying? Y'all already know, man. I got to always leave y'all with some music, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all go ahead, have a good evening. You know what I'm saying? Tomorrow, you know what I'm saying? Going to have something popping, possibly, potentially, you know what I mean? With my Brethren James. He doing big things around the city, man, with the video editing, man, interacting with the youth and stuff like that, man. I just think he deserved to have his story talked about, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know what I'm saying, he a dude who really, he one of the dudes who I know personally in my life, man, that's really out here, you know what I'm saying, interacting with the youth, man, and influence these young brothers to go about life in a different way. You already know, Uncle Diggity, I appreciate that, man. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else, y'all enjoy y'all evening, man. You know, so I'm gonna leave y'all with one of these joints tonight, man. Y'all enjoy y'all evening, man. Hit that like button and that subscribe joint on y'all way out, man.
Got that feel to it. They got that vibe to it. It do. Let me get at it. The guarantee is back, bitch. Ready to spaz back on my rap shit. I saw the bat sign in the air. Had to react quick. Niggas got a whole lot to say. I never trap shit. My nigga came home from really doing this trap shit. Everybody got a brick. Well, me too. What these niggas playing for the Knicks? I think they full of shit. I roll around bumping Nas. It was written shit. Let it be known I be diarrhea spitting shit. Flow too nasty. Still flames if you ask me. They used to look past me. Now they ask me. I've been nice for years. Check out my track sheet. I be all over the field. I'm like an athlete at his very best. This is what you niggas want and this is what you niggas get. Ever seen a real life palm walking in the flesh? I'm about my bag, nigga. Summertime, no top, twerking in the jag, nigga. I ain't got it yet. Just some dreams that I had, nigga. I thought about throwing birds like McNabb, nigga. I thought about getting gritty with the mask, nigga. I'm just trying to get my fettuccine fast, nigga. Cheese I smoke and cheese I stack. Be all in you niggas' face like I'm battle for smack. Yeah, as you can see, this where I'm mentally at. The book be like a kitchen, where my recipe at? Hey. But on another note, I be getting fly, I be getting high, shorty looking at me like the ribbon in the sky, all I ever wanted was my portion of the pie, real shit, treed up, I just overdose and kill shit. I'm hot as fuck, but these diamonds keep me chill quick. Big blunts just for all the shit I deal with. All aboard like we going on a field trip. To the promised land, making money be the plan. Bars be bricks, we can stretch it like it's rubber bands. As far as this split, I'm Dominique Dawes with it. I hopped out, dope. Some niggas just born with it. I ain't got it now, but damn it, I'm gon' get it. I sneeze on the track, I verbally fought with it. Verbally pop with it. Niggas better know that we all the way locked with it. Plenty of shots in it. Never did the block, but fuck it, I got digits. Staying low key like I'm a newborn midget. Can't trust hoes, too many unauthentic. I've been nice, my nigga, I'm no gimmick. What this niggas talking about?
Really, DG?
Yeah. Glitch to guarantee. E&E. 2020 got me seeing so clear. I see the money in my sights. I'ma go get that. Shit, my time is now. I gotta get it in. Stay away from the fake. I'm rolling up again, trying to get this money for dead homies. We pour our hands. Soon as the L's gone, we back to rolling up again. Glitch the guarantee. You bet I got my mind right. Sick and rain shit. That's 2020 hindsight. King Gales and John. Nigga, we destroyed Mike. Stack, see we stacking up. Got the millions in my sight. Glitch, nigga. Burning everything that I touch. I'm an arsonist. Niggas thought I wouldn't move up. I set the bar with this. Up in smoke for real, nigga. We lighting sticks. I'm about to be at my peak. I plant my flag and shit. My bitch cold with flooded ice on her damn wrist. So many chains that in the entanglement. Like Will Smith. When it comes to the bills, nigga, I'm Bruce Smith. Running on my way to the Bucks, nigga. I'm Robert Smith. Scheme King, nigga. I Sammy Davis on any beat. Yeah, I'm tapped in. The only choice is to move your feet. Flow sound like I'm playing jazz. Call me Pistol Pete. Blue magic bars. Type of shit I can guarantee. One of the hottest you heard, nigga, I guarantee. Heavy in my bag. I'm ballin', nigga, like 23. All about the green. I go and get it like 33. 7 years from now, I still be nice when I'm 46. My time is now. I gotta get it in. Stay away from the fake. I'm rolling up again, trying to get this money for dead homies. We pour our hands. Soon as the L's gone, we back to rolling up again. Glitch the guarantee. You bet I got my mind right. Sick and rain shit. That's 2020 hindsight. King Gales and John. Nigga, we destroy Mike. Stack, see we stacking up. Got the millions in my sight. Yeah, couple mil in my sights. Where my money goggles. Oh, you think you rap nice? Another dub box. By the time this shit drop, I'm writing another novel. I'm lost to negative. I might be a problem. Man, these butcher boy cats got matching styles. We can take it off heads, they snatching crowns. Y'all ain't even tough enough. Save your stamina. 6 MVPs. That's unanimous. We be getting more looks than a cameraman. Now you losing out on cam like a Panther fan. Still be sunning these cats like a family man. Nauseous, about to trip on them like a family van. Now you say I owe you, hey, you taking vows. All these reaches from these rappers, that's another foul. Shorty like when I talk, she be getting aroused. Break her down, split the fractions, that's a compound. My time is now. I gotta get it in. Stay away from the fake. I'm rolling up again, trying to get this money for dead homies. We pour our hands. Soon as the L's gone, we back to rolling up again. Glitch the guarantee. You bet I got my mind right. Sick and rain shit. That's 2020 hindsight. King Gales and John. Nigga, we destroyed Mike. Stack, see we stacking up. Got the millions in my sight.
I'm a hustler about my paper. You can see it in my eyes if you looking close.
Yeah. Glitch the guarantee. E&E. With Glitch, nigga. Shit, I'm about to flood the streets like when the levees break. Criminal minds like Garcia can navigate. Flowing while I'm blowing this gas. Nigga, no brakes. Niggas not seeing me ever. I mean, no dates. Fuck around and end up gone. You getting misplaced. E&E, the shit that I claim. You dealing with grace. Took over the game. I storm like Rain's mixtape. Thankfully, I pin up the smoke like my mixtape. Counting cheddar shit. I'm about to make a grilled cheese. Niggas be faker than bad bitches with good leads. On my John Wick shit like Keanu Reeves. Replacements won't be enough. You need the whole team. I've been a G since I could finish my ABCs. Kept it a buck so real niggas look up to me. This butcher boy shit get crazy. When it's sick of me, I'm coughing out these dope bars till they sick of me.
Can't get rid of me, still can't find a remedy. Still blowing palmers if it comes to Hennessy.
E&E, we own our shit independently.
When I go out on a limb, I take extremities. I can see right through a transparency. Heard their self-esteem low, insecurities. Now I never like push the guarantee. What's the recipe? King L's Reflection 3. All these chapters in my life, you can turn the page. Books can't tell you my story, gotta live it down. Glitch got my back, yeah, you can copy that. Man, with control to see, you can copy that. Leave your whole state red like Republicans. Put a fire on the track, now it's bubbling. Put your boys in it, you in trouble, kid. Add first 100 mil, double.
Let's go. All the hustlers getting money, let it show. All the back, nigga, how we get the dough. If it ain't paper, then we probably gotta go. Put your boy shit, nigga, let's go. All the hustlers getting money, let it show. It's all the back, nigga, how we get the dough. If it ain't paper, then we probably gotta go. Put your boy shit, nigga, let's go.
Blow sick, corona, jealous in the motherfucker. Can't even take a step, that's how far I trust you. This black boy turned to Shine King under pressure. West side bad jacks, I took more to measure. Shake the extra steps, this the start of these street rules. What I talk, royal blood flowing free. Power on my mind, knows the gang is kind. Read between the lines, it was in my eye. If they ain't got real lines, it ain't hard to spot a counterfeit. Undefeated, ultra real, Fern Gully Mountain shit. Couple hot shots, turn on the frozen margaritas. Even better when it's served with some flawless features. Next year they gotta pay for these flawless features. Flawless victories from the flaws that they teach us. Now my flow imitate how I board the plane non-stop. The little J gon' take over with my time side.
I get right to it. My nigga, we beg your pardon. We putting niggas back in boxes. Yeah, they need harder. My flow be retarded. Sick, I need hella help. My group came back. This must be how Stella felt. We just started kicking it like a yellow belt. We all made it to the pros. This is how LaMelo felt. You better yell out help. Here comes the double team. You catch me in the spot. Then you know that the boy is clean. The Louis V look lean with the magazine. So if you try it, you get shot. No vaccine. If you asleep before I came, then I'm the caffeine. I pull the jokers out the deck. Yeah, there ain't no last. Let's go. In CEO fashion, we sticking to the business. Wouldn't even let a vegan knock me off my chick. Something about the DDS when the sun is hitting. Should be flashing like the lights when you get it. Let's go. All the hustlers getting money, let it show. It's automatic, nigga, how we get the dough. If it ain't paper, then we probably gotta go. Put your boy shit, nigga, let's go. All the hustlers getting money, let it show. It's automatic, nigga, how we get the dough. If it ain't paper, then we probably gotta go. Put your boy shit, nigga, let's go. Yeah, Glitch the guarantee. E&E 2020 got me seeing so clear. We back at it, Ray. Them dollars still circulating too. Talk to him.
Glitch, let me take off, man. They can't handle this. My team move tactical. We cover all parameters. They try to trace our path like a medical examiner. It's like we're playing 2K, but we're turning off the stamina. Confirm we not amateurs. Please play your position. If I call a play for my shooters, you headed to the bench. I'm throwing on some Christmas, steady focused on my mission. It's a rough ride, like we on the road with no suspension, but I'm good with the tension. I flourish under pressure. The way I play these jokers, you would swear I'm Heath Ledger. I keep the beat redder underneath the G sweater. And when the drama's on, we prime cut, we beef better. I rap these 3 letters. They to the death of me. We came a long way since we had concealed weaponry. Let you copy our style with the G sold separately. Guaranteeing rain. It's one hell of a recipe. Let's get it.
We don't want it if the love fake. Glitch and rain shit, we make them dollars circulate. 2020, yeah, we really about to make it shake. Grinding hard, trying to make them dollars circulate. All my niggas eat, and we already ate. Play full, E&E, we here to regulate. Blowing gas, you can smell that shit from outer space. Cause all we trying to do is make them dollars circulate. Glitch, nigga, my legacy becomes more important than 7 C's. I be overseas with my bitch, we eating Lebanese. Circulating these dollars while I be blowing trees. Kind of grip I got on this money, will make your fingers bleed. Still a nigga, count it up, mind your business, please. Step in my office, I teach you niggas about policy. Rain hit me up, he told me he where them dollars be. I know my nigga taking it up, now that's a guarantee. 7-digit nigga shit, I'm trying to be number 1 in the draft, nigga, 2003. E&E the click, you niggas could never worry me. I keep a sniper right in the corner, I call him Danny Green. Wow, balling on you niggas, every shot a swish shot. Isolation, so I'm waving off the pick. 1 of 1, I'm just here to set the record straight. Cause all we trying to do is make them dollars circulate. We don't want it if the love fake. Glitch and rain shit, we make them dollars circulate. 2020, yeah, we really about to make it shake. Grinding hard, trying to make them dollars circulate. All my niggas eat, and we already ate. Play full, E&E, we here to regulate. Blowing gas, you can smell that shit from outer space. Cause all we trying to do is make them dollars circulate. Yeah.